All right, welcome for joining us. Thanks so much for the ill-fated session 42.
Woo! Let's go.
Noodle arm. All right. I did the noodle arms. I feel like that's good. I mean, my portrait's so tiny on the stream overlay that I have to like throw my arms in just to get
Right.
onto the stream. So the couple points here. I actually went through your character sheets and made the adjustments. Okay, so remember I mentioned in the last session that I would be going through character sheets and making adjustments and changing things to fit the bill or the standard of the new crafting sheet, but also not deteriorating or taking away value as best as I could. So, for an example, you added with Maldor's character sheet, you should see that the Darksteel Great Axe of Dragon Slaying, right? We can only have one enchantment, and that is straight 3d6 to the dragon for slaying dragons. The dark steel is still there, but you don't have that +1/+1. So the weapon's still magical. It just doesn't have the +1/+1 enchantment because that they don't stack with each other. Um, Now your boots of striding and spring, the belt of fire giant strength, all the same, right? Those are unique magical items. We're not going to remove those, right, or change that, but they do have attunement. And then you can see that your dragon helm has been changed to the other dragon helm, which doesn't give the +1 to armor class, but it does have the advantage here against dragon's frightful presence and the dragon's breath weapon. So both of those, so you actually get advantage in saving throws against dragon breath. And then in action, you can actually use that to sense the dragon's presence at 300 miles, and that's for all dragons. Okay, it's not dragon type specific or anything, so it's actually pretty powerful when you think about it. And getting that advantage on the throws for the breath weapons is huge. In addition to sensing as well, right? 300 miles, just pinging the location of dragons, right? Just understanding that. So we have the plate
Holy
armor.
crap.
So you had masterwork plate.
Mhm.
Masterwork isn't going to be a thing in the game anymore just because I want to limit base metals down just a little bit so they're not overstacking over themselves. So with Masterwork and Darksteel, there really wasn't like a difference between the two with +1 plus they're just +1/+1s. So I had changed your armor just to plate armor +1. So that way we're keeping with the plate armor, and then you get the +1 because in the sheet that I had, one of the
Mhm.
things that you all wanted to get for you was plate +1. Through
Well, what we were gonna do, so we might have to. I don't know. We'll see. It was masterwork at the base, so we were gonna add a +1 to it that
exactly.
would effectively make it a +2. Yeah.
So that's one of the things they're saying. We're kind of having a little bit of detrimental, right? We're having a little bit of the bad with that one because we kind of have to fit into a build that makes sense. Dark steel can still be opportunity here, but definitely going to be an extra cost instead of
Right.
just taking the masterwork and buffing them. So then we have the ring +1. So you had a ring of protection, Meldor. That's now just referred to as a ring +1. And that ring should have the bonuses associated with it and the active effects. So we don't have to edit the global sheets. And then those are not attuned. So the ring +1's not attuned. You can have, two rings equipped at one time. And so you can actually kind of have those and attach them and everything like that. So there you have it. Your potions of healing have been changed to the next. So you had a potion of greater healing. You actually had two of those. It was what I found into your inventory sheet. And so you can regain 48 plus 4 now with those. So that's definitely a boost. All right. So take some moment, look into the character sheets, see the new changes to your stuff. And again, shouldn't change too much. I think some of you I didn't have to change at all in terms of items and things, but it could make sense in terms of where you want to go in the crafting, right? Where we want to go later. Now, for changing things, like Tegan, your character, right? You said you wanted to keep the Rhythm Maker drums, and so we kept those into your inventory there. But that is an attuned item, right? So if we're going to keep that into your inventory, we still have to make it attuned because it has that added bonus for your Bardic Inspiration. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. And we
All right.
kept the grimoire as well.
Exactly. Yep. And you should see that still into your inventory and attuned.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. 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 In addition to that, I went ahead and added creature materials as well to certain amount of inventories if you had that in your inventory to kind of transition. Now, I don't think this group in particular had anything really extra materials I kind of saw in their inventories. So I kind of didn't put that into terms of your characters. And then the treasury sheet has changed over to a group sheet because in the new D&D 5e system we have that. And so you have your actual members listed there, and then I just transferred the gold that you had from that treasury into the group sheet at 58,269. But you didn't have any items in the treasury at all. You're all keeping items on your personal selves. Okay. So the dragon armor, that's one of the other kind of big changes because we are going to the new version of that. And because you have the dragon helm and everything, right, you're kind of having some overlap. So nothing should really change for you, Tegan. There's just some modifications of that, but it's not giving you those scale mail bonuses. With scale mail bonuses, I mean, covered by the helm, really. And so there's that.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. All righty.
Cool. So all I heard out of that is I need to make Maldor some dark steel plate before we can change his plate armor.
Yeah. So now we're kind of in the boat of, do we need to change the loot stuff? And so going to give you a little bit of chance here to potentially change that list if you need to. So this is the current list that we have from the last section. Posting it in. Oh wow, that did not copy over very well from my
If
notes.
you scroll
just
up, there's another one.
Scroll up to Thanos's. Here, hold on. I mean, it's sad. I try to copy from the chat or from my journal, and it like messes it up.
Blows the line breaks.
Yeah, that's the line break.
And then Thanos, you have to craft the elven chain for it to be 20k, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Brug is going to
But-
tell us how to do it, and then we're going to do it. Is that how that was working?
Yeah, she was gonna get us some components and stuff.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Maybe if Maldor lets me borrow his fire giant belt for a day so I can get that extra plus strength on my checks, then I don't even have to roll for it for a day. It'd be great.
I was about to say, I mean, technically he could. He could just give you the
I mean,
belt
you could
for
just
a
can't
day.
borrow it. That's fine.
Yeah, well, you guys are stuck down there in the basement. I'm gonna have Bruga teleport me to the blacksmith. You mind if I borrow
Suddenly,
your belt
Thanos
for a day?
is just buff as fuck.
Yeah. Breaks
'cause
a
it-
sheet of metal in half because he hit so hard.
It's what, a plus 7, right? That
Plus
you have?
7,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that would give me, what would that make my passive? God, that would make my passive ridiculous. So it's 5, 12, 16 plus 7 would be, I'd be at a 23 passive on blacksmithing. Almost high enough to make very rare without rolling.
So does it kind of become the new process every time you need to craft something? I have to run you the belt?
Maldor,
Yeah.
give me your belt.
Maldor, I need your belt.
Crafts everything. Here you go.
You just have me hit it for you. Like, just not hit it there. Not hit it there. Not hit it there. Just turn Maldor into like your air hammer or whatever it is they use in the shops. You know, you
Yeah.
just move the piece around and it just keeps hitting.
So how many days are we gonna be here, like downtime wise, do you think, while we wait for the ship to
Didn't
Be
it
good
say
to
a
go.
medium boat was like 20 days or some crazy shit?
what the fuck is Tegan doing?
Getting
He
those
can
rolls.
hit
I,
some.
I was finally fucking around with my hotkeys, and I just wanted to
Oh,
see if
okay.
it would pop up the.
I was about to say,
menu for
Is this
spell
man
slots.
practicing hitting with a staff
he's
that's
working
not
on
meant
his
to
staff
attack
now.
I just
with?
smacked Varys in the back of the head. That's what I just did.
Donk.
What?
Hey, it works.
Unlock the true potential.
Get out of here.
Hey, you see how it didn't, disintegrate me? That's because you didn't do that last time.
Oh,
'cause
no,
you're
he
not
didn't
part
want you
dragon.
dead.
If
Yeah.
you were a dragon, you would have disintegrated.
Oh,
with
right,
The dragon
yes.
slaying staff of warding.
The dragon slaying staff of warding. I fucking love that.
Jesus.
That is so
What's
great.
What's really funny too is I gave it to him. Can't use it. He can't use it all.
He can hit
Next
things
level,
with
I'll be able to.
He can't. He doesn't have shield on his spell list. He doesn't have glyph of
It
warding
doesn't
on
matter.
his spell list,
Eventually,
and he doesn't have a counter spell.
Imagine
Next
not taking a
level,
dip into
I'll
sorcerer.
be fine.
Yeah, magical secrets, bro. He's gonna be great.
Yeah, he's
It
all right.
makes
How
my
many
life
spells do
easier
you
because
get
I don't have
with
to make a
magical
decision
secrets?
2 at 10.
Oh, are you gonna take shield and counter spell and then
now. Why wouldn't I?
What? Why would you?
yeah, I mean I don't really see why you would want shield.
You could take Find Greater Steed. I don't think you understand how awesome that spell is. Okay?
Deuce and the horses, man.
Hey, what do you mean? Now I get to ride a dog on Friday's group.
It's always
I'm
with a
so
mount.
happy. And it was so unplanned. And then he like, oh yeah, it's a dog. And I'm like, it's quadrupedal. Yes.
Did you rename it?
Oh, that's great.
Oh, shit.
That's
How much
so
is
good.
Dark Steel?
So
Dark
why
Steel
is it I actually was curious, why doesn't it have a dex bonus on the staff? Is it not considered a quarter
That's
Well,
only
a
staff?
quarter
monks.
staff
Well,
is strength,
it's-
right?
Quarterstaff is versatile, so you actually can change it to which strength or dex if you want. So
Oh,
it
bet.
generally is smart to figure it out, but because it's a magical item, it probably can't. So figure it out.
It doesn't expect you to hit things with it.
Yeah, it doesn't expect you to swing with it.
No,
So don't
I
really
understood. I understand that. I've only hit something with it once, but I was wondering because like I didn't know if staffs counted as like quarter staffs and they would go off of dex or not.
You.
Yeah, no, they still constitute that. So it's really just kind of figuring out.
All right,
just
so Adam, we
figuring
may
out-
not be able to buy your Dark Steel. That was
Yeah,
rare.
no, well,
All right, so I'm dragging over items from the list here in terms of what it is that you will want to accomplish and get for your gold here. So it's going to take me just a little bit as I get that, putting into a loot sheet. You can kind of drag outwards.
No,
Some of
oh,
these.
what so I also have, I'm wearing plate +1, so if we need to offload that to cover the cost of materials, that's a possibility too.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go steal the Dark Steel.
That was Beskar.
I'm also gonna go steal the Beskar.
You're just cleaning out all the black
You
spots
just
in town.
gonna clean this man out?
No, I'm gonna steal the Dark Steel from somewhere in the bazaar, and then I'm gonna steal the Beskar from the blacksmith.
I love it.
We ain't
All right,
paying
so we have
for
one
shit.
cloak, 5 rings.
we don't have enough money. We have 30K left. So like, if we were to buy the Dark Steel, that would be 20 of the 30K. We'd have 10K left.
Maybe that's our sign that we don't need. That's enough items.
Or
Is-
or I just steal all the materials. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna know.
Nope. Because I ain't gonna tell anybody until we out of the city, and then I'm just gonna like pull open the bag of holding, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Maldor, put this on. I'm gonna need you to use this." Everyone's like, "Where the fuck did all this come from?"
Fucking Santa Claus is just gonna show up.
I mean, also, like, Varys doesn't really understand Thanos half the time, like, what this man's mindset is, so he just kind of, like, lets him do what he wants to do, and he's like, whatever, as long as he doesn't fucking kill anyone, it's fine.
I never said that I wasn't gonna kill anyone in the
He
process
hasn't
of
murdered
stealing all
any
this
of
shit.
us in our sleep yet, so
Now, you harass people, you don't kill them. You haven't killed anyone
Yeah,
yet.
he killed the Duke.
I did kill the dude.
Yeah,
You did
do
kill
that,
them,
yeah. But you were gonna kill the Duke if he didn't kill the Duke, so...
That is accurate. Did our portraits get wiped? Is Foundry having them?
No, I
Is it
see
just
'em.
me?
have
Everything's
portrait.
blank for me. Let me reload.
But do you need us to take a nice little long rest though, so you know I can get rid of this fucking exhaustion?
Wow. I think I might be having connection issues to Foundries. Just
Uh-oh.
spinning.
Not load again.
I hit refresh in the browsers. Let me close the browser out. It was just like spinning, not doing anything.
Control F5. Control F5 if you need to. That's going to flush the cache or close up the browser completely. that could kind of fix. I was working on your character sheet, but I don't think that should pose any sort of problems.
Hey,
I
you're
just
back.
logged completely out and back in. It seems okay now.
Okay. All right, so I won't drag the boat into that loot sheet here. It's pretty ridiculous.
The boat. God, the boat was the most random purchase. I feel like none of us really, none of us besides Lucar really cared about the boat. But because he cares about the boat, now we all care about the boat. And it does seem pretty useful.
I mean, as much water as there is on this map, it makes sense to have a
Yeah.
worthy vessel ready to go.
Mhm.
I tried every argument to get us done talking about the boat. You know, I tried to argue against the boat. I tried to argue for buying all the boats.
Arguing to argue to get out of arguing, which is a funny. Oh, we do have a game mechanics question. If I copied down the sigils for one of Bruga's teleportation circles in here, could I use the spell teleportation circle to travel back here?
So the important part about the teleportation circles is that we're actually going to be kind of the way that the glyphs are working as well is that we're going to be doing one-to-one really. So we can't when you make a teleportation circle, it's almost like you're linking with another circle elsewhere, and you're trying to transco to that. Now we might kind of play it out if we want to instead just have like a central hub where then we make other teleportation circles to that hub. And things. But when we do that, we have to be very careful with the rules of how we're stating that. And so, with how these circles work right now, and the potential transferring between themselves back and forth, you couldn't actually make a teleportation circle to one of these. You're more or less coming back and forth between the space, and they're already ingrained, they're already linked. And so, what we can do is that when we make a new teleportation circle, we might be able to make and say that this one is going to be a hub, right? We can actually say that this one's going to be open to being connected with a great number of them, whereas others we can just say that they can only be connected to one teleportation circle, which is kind of where I'm leaning towards in terms of ruling. That way, you can come back all at once to the same one, but that one can't exactly be used to go elsewhere. Do you see what I'm saying? So when you think about it, if you have one circle and that's connected to a number of them, how do you differentiate about which one you're supposed to go to when you step onto the circle? So that becomes a huge problem, right? So if I have a circle here and the circle's connected to 3 other circles and I step onto it, right? Where do I go from there?
Yeah,
Obviously,
I mean
you
that
create
that
three
wasn't
clones.
really what I was asking. I was asking with the spell that is used. You use it one time and then it goes away. Could
Yeah.
you connect that to a permanent circle somewhere else and use it as like an escape or as a means of travel?
Oh, I think that you're maybe getting confused. So teleportation circle, the spell, and now the glyph that we've created, right? Those are both permanent things.
Really?
Yeah. Those are the spell and the glyph are both permanent things that you're doing. So when you're doing it, when you're making a teleportation circle, you're taking the spell wise wants you to take like days and days and days and days upon days to create this, and then eventually it's formed, and you don't actually have to spend any extra things just to teleport through. That's the benefit of it, right? Because now you have just instant teleportation and travel.
That's not to like argue, but with the way the spell reads, as you cast the spell, you draw a circle on the ground with sigils that link your location to a permanent circle with sigils.
Yep.
The shimmering opens and remains open to the end of your next turn,
Mhm.
and then you go through it, and then as long as you have the rune of the permanent circle, you can go through it and go to that. So the way I read it was
Yeah,
that
but that's what I'm saying. It's a permanent thing, and you're saying that if I cast the spell teleportation circle, can I bridge to one of the circles that are here?
right. That was how
And
I
it-
read it.
Yeah, and if that was the case, then Brugger's Labyrinth and Dungeon would be completely unsecured.
Well, the idea being that you need to know what the
You
room
have
looks
to,
like to
you have to
teleport to it.
know her sigils to get in.
Yeah.
So you would have to have seen it or been told what it was.
Yeah, and so that's where we kind of play. Do we, do we have some ruling that says that that's possible? And if that's possible, then we open ourselves up to interpretation that all one person just needs to do is probe into the mind, whoever's been to Brugger's shop, or even, clairvoyance or some way scry into the shop, and then voila, and then you have individuals in here, right? So we have to kind of have a ruling where we have to have a ruling where we have some permanency between circles, or we have to open it up to allow others to connect to those circles and teleport.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it not being the way I read it. Either way, I was just wondering how the rule worked exactly, because I didn't want to like spend time copying teleportation circle down or something like that and then never using it because I don't, I misunderstood how it worked.
No, I think you're understanding how the spell works. I think that we're having a misunderstanding in terms of the permanent circle, the permanent side of that. I'm saying that you cast it, and then all of a sudden you can go to a permanent circle, but we have to make a ruling to state if the circle itself is connected to something else. Then are we going to freely allow you to study and then choose whichever circle you want and then go to it? Or are we going to say that are they protected from that, and they don't necessarily allow that? And so that's why I'm letting you decide that. That's your. I mean, we got to fit the bill with Laura. I don't have anything stated. All I state is that these circles are connected to each other, and that there is some shroud of protection here that stops others from simply just teleporting to them. And that could be an immunity to divination. Doesn't allow people to scry. Ruga obviously doesn't have people to come down here, and that sort of thing. So. We could play it that way, and I think this is a ruling that I think you need to figure out because it's how you want to play with the circles, right? I'm game to whatever way you want. There's positives and negatives either way. So
yeah, I don't know. I didn't think about it that far.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think is a better way to play it? Like, would you rather it be locked off and you have to have a certain circle for that, or it's just because she hid the sigils?
I think I'm indifferent, but I'm also not the
it does-
spellcaster.
Yeah, it doesn't really affect us directly. That's more of how you want to handle it.
Yeah. I think I'll just have it the way that you originally stated how it's protected. Because to me, that does make it more of like a hard rule on how the circles work.
Mhm.
So that makes more sense in my head.
So let's
To
do.
me,
Let's
I would
do.
assume.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
No, go.
Oh, I was gonna say I would assume in a world like this where magic is like a no-no, and even finding bastions of like magical power is kind of rare. I feel like teleportation circles probably aren't going to be common or very usable in very many places. Just in general.
Mhm.
So from
let's
a utility perspective, it might be like a waste.
Yeah, so let's make a compromise then, so we can make these things a little bit more useful. So let's say that the glyphs you're putting down, those would be a permanent circle. You can use the spell, the teleportation circle spell, to invoke a permanent circle if you spend a number of days casting it. Right, you can still do it that way, but the glyphs are going to be served as a primary way of making a permanent circle. Then we can state that you can shield the circle and make it so it cannot be used.
What you could do is put a circle on the boat, and then we can always get back to the boat and go anywhere we want to go.
So there is a thing. They have to be a permanent solidified space. They can't be put onto an object like that that's on the move and stuff just because of space and time and certain things. But
Yeah, I think we talked about that last session.
we
were
did talk
talking
about that.
Putting it like near the dock or something. Because we were going to have a hub.
I think
where we
near
could
the
go and
dock.
just
Yeah.
go.
Near the
Yeah.
dock was what you all had inkling. So I think we should compromise with this because I want to make teleportation circles useful. I want to make it kind of something you can do. And so eventually you get teleportation. You're not just burning 7th level spells for the sake of hoarding you all around some places. So let's say that you can lay down permanent circles with the glyphs. And once you lay down a permanent circle, you can choose to essentially turn it on or off in terms of protection shielding. So there's a little bit of negative to that. So if you decide to turn it off, that means you eventually can come back to it just by using the spell. But you also open it to others coming and attempting to use it and coming towards you. And so the structure, the tower structure, so if you decide to build a tower and put it in, we can actually say that has the magic already instilled into the tower to hide the circle and to defend the circle. So that way no one could just easily access it. But shielding
Thanos
it
will
on and
make you
off,
lasers.
yeah, shielding it on and off, I think is a really cool thing that we can do. We can say it's warded or something, right? Like you can ward it, or you don't have to when you cast it.
Yeah, it's
But
like
I will,
locking the door after you leave.
yeah, but I will say that if you use it, you have to decide right there. You can't just do flip flop. I think that it's better if you decide when you're throwing it down if you want it to be an open circle or if you want to be a closed circle. And if
Okay.
you,
Yeah, so you can't like have it open sometimes and then close it sometimes. Like it has to be
exactly,
one or the
you
other.
kind of have to
Okay.
choose when you're casting it or putting the glyph down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then once you do that, regardless if it's warded or not, you can still make another permanent circle and connect it to that, right? So now we can play with that and say, if you lay down another permanent circle, you can just connect it to it even if it's warded.
Mhm.
Does
Okay.
that sound good?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, if we got
Okay.
downtime, we should do that before we leave. Then we'll just park the boat. If Ruger's going to teleport us to the marsh, we should park the boat, set up a way to teleport back.
Either I have to stay here for a year. I think I don't. I remember it was like a
Yeah,
crazy
a
amount of.
year.
Is it a
downtime.
year?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
year for teleport, or you buy the, or
Yeah.
you put the, or you try to make the glyph, or you buy the glyph from Bruga
Yeah.
and do it.
So, but I think it's really
yeah, it is a year.
expensive if we're gonna make it.
Is
Right?
it?
Hold on. Yeah, I'm
What
pretty sure.
Is it a very rare?
It's exquisite fine regents.
Can't we
Exquisite
just
regents. So
can we just pay? I guess we don't want
It's-
to wait a year is the problem. So we can just pay somebody to come do it every day for a year.
It's rare. I mean, in terms of cost, if you were wanting to do it yourself, you'd pay 20K, and then you'd have to make the check, or you can spend 30K, buy it off of Bruga to make it for you.
yeah, I think we'll have to do that at a later point when we have more money.
That's fine.
We'll go make us some money before we leave town. Don't worry. Don't ask where it came from.
You're so wild.
At this rate, we're going to be waiting a month for you to finish all your criminal enterprise.
We're waiting for the boat. How long does the boat take?
Yeah.
How much downtime we got?
Yeah.
If we're not taking the boat, we don't need to wait for the boat. It'll be ready for us when we get back.
I think it's about 20 days for a medium boat.
Yeah, if we're teleporting out, we can just pick up the boat later.
That's what I thought you were doing. I thought you were just gonna.
There's no point in waiting if we're not going to use it.
Yeah, that's what I thought we were doing.
You're
as
essentially
well.
going to give orders and instructions for the boat, right, to do
Yeah.
what it's going to do, and then you were going to head out and then come back to the boat wherever it is. So, the circle
Oh,
would
what is
just
this
help
bag
you.
of prime bones?
If you did the circle, that would just help you come back really
Right.
quickly instead of just trekking through.
Having traveled
Right,
way
to
back
wherever.
now.
Yeah, I
That's
thought
the
we
only
were going to
benefit.
wait on the boat because of we wanted them to meet us wherever. Aluda?
Well, we wouldn't have to wait on it.
I mean, we
If,
could,
uh,
if we hire a crew or something, we could send it to meet
Yeah,
us.
How are we
just
Yeah.
going
send
to
it
hire
wherever
a
you
crew
want.
if we can't leave the house?
We got connections.
Yeah, I'm cool with whatever.
But yeah, so we're probably gonna have to at some point, if we're planning on building like a home base, right? That was like our thing. Is that at one point we want to
Mhm.
try to have a home base. That home base would have to include a tower.
Mhm.
So
Can it be a flying fortress? Can we do that? Can you do that?
yeah, can we have a flying city in the air?
You have not learned that yet.
Oh,
Maybe
actually,
Keep
we do
digging.
need 10 days in the city. I'm just throwing it out there.
spend some time in the elemental planes. You might be able to figure that one out.
Yeah, hold on. Let me ask Bruga how to do it. I'm sure she's got it down.
So right now we're paused. So we're just kind of having your character sheets paused and out there. You should see a map icon in the middle of that thing. So this is kind of just theater of mind still. We're still in our respective places because we're kind of paused at that point where going to be going through downtime stage. So if we want to roleplay with Brugge, we can, but it's more or less trying to get through this so we can get to the next step.
Yeah.
So right now, I calculated how much remainder gold you have after the purchases. So 33,500 is how much you have left over. That does not include the plate plus that. I removed the plate plus one. So obviously you have more because you're not getting plate the increase of the enchantment there. So you can see there's 2 rings of dark vision. You have your arcane focus, a cloak, ring plus one, cloak plus one, ring plus one, 5 of those. Ring plus two is 2 of those. And then you have 3 things. You have chainmail, you have bag of primal bones, common, 5 of those, and insoluble luck, which is going to be provided to you by Brugge, some of which is their own, others are not. Chainmail is just particularly learning the tricks and techniques from the master smith. This is the recipe that they have found for the elvish techniques. And now we're kind of going into recipes you're going to be learning. And so now there's a new book called Elvish Techniques, and I revealed Elven Chain in there. And you should see that it requires 1 chainmail, 1 luck insoluble, and 5 bag primal bones common. And you'll have
Nice.
chainmail.
I would point out that it is actually in the sheet 33,500 platinum before we take anything.
Oh shit, my bad.
That's a lot.
Oh, dude, that was my brain.
Yeah.
That was.
I was
totally
like,
my brain.
man, that's a lot of money.
Well, I just ignored there was a platinum category
On the
right? And
left,
so I
yeah.
just gotcha.
That's
All right, there
funny.
you go. Should be good. I'll have it
Yeah,
on
I
pause
think-
for the sake in case you need to move your tokens and stuff, but you shouldn't need to. And there you can actually you should be able to grab at your leisure. That will obviously come through to see if you want. And then I'll just hit accept in the chat, so it'll automatically deliver those into your inventory, and you'll take them as you please.
I also think our party inventory still has the gold that we betted in it that we need to deduct.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we just replaced that with the 33,500.
Well, I think we had, because we bet like 55 or what do we bet? I don't remember. We didn't bet quite all of it. We bet most
We
of it.
bet 57.5. So yeah, maybe we didn't bet all of it.
Yeah, well, there was like at least a grand.
No, I
left.
thought we did.
I thought we made it.
I think
an
you
even
had
number.
a grand and an extra bit. You had an even number. You gave out 57. I think it was. Let me look at my notes here.
I think it was
I got also-
57.5.
Let me backtrack just real quick.
Yeah, because we had like,
57.5,
a little over
57,500. Let me go ahead and reduce
Yeah.
that from the treasury for you here. 1 second. And then I'll get back to the. I have to confirm the receipt when you pull stuff out, so I have it going on. So. All right, so you have 769 in the treasury. There. All right, back to the chat. So yeah, pull the items at your leisure. I'll get those.
Wait, where does it say that?
So the ring plus 1 didn't actually show up as 2 separate items. It showed up as 1 with a 2 parenthesis, but equipping it doesn't give both bonuses.
The ring.
Yeah, the ring plus 1. It just has a quantity and then doesn't give both bonuses.
I got 2 separate ones in my inventory. It's weird.
Yeah, you have 2 separate ones.
Did you?
Yeah, and one of mine was old though. So
I
You
wonder if
pulled
it's
2
because I
at-
pulled them at
You
time.
pulled 2 at the
Yeah.
same time.
'Cause it
You
was
pulled
a
2 at the
stack,
same
yeah.
time. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. I can fix that. It's all right.
Wait, so where's
gonna
the
be making
thing we're
difficult.
supposed to be pulling items out of?
It's in the center.
There's a
It's
chest on the map.
On the Brugge's little alchemy table.
All right. It should be in your inventory now.
I don't see that.
You don't see
This?
that at all?
No.
All right. I want you to
Refresh.
go to this tab here, the journal notes tab. And then
Okay.
you should be able to hit this little magnifying glass and it should toggle the note display on the map.
Oh, there it is. It didn't show it for me. Okay. So
Usually that's on by default, but yeah, you might have turned it off through your exploration of tools. Just didn't have it. Just make sure to take one at a time so that way they're not stacking. Make sure the independent items because they'll try to group them together. It looks like.
Learned that one.
the other ring plus 2 is for Lucar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there supposed to be a pop-up menu when you click on it?
Yes.
Yeah, you should be able to double click it, and it should pop up with the spoils of the Colosseum loot sheet.
You have to double click it.
There we go.
Oh, trackpad. Oh God.
No, I got it. Okay.
Okay, if you
Calm
don't
down.
have it, you could go to the journal tab and then find it.
So
I
yeah,
got it. Okay.
I would probably ask you guys if we could stay in town for about 10 days. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I can always learn stuff from Bruga.
Because Daddy needs to learn how to do herbalism before we go into the marshes.
Daddy needs to what?
Yeah, I need to learn how to
Daddy
make my
needs to learn
potions.
about
Yeah,
herbalism?
Daddy. Yeah,
I also,
Daddy.
yeah, I mean, if we're staying here for 10 days, could we just stay for 20 so I can get an expertise in Arcana?
I like how Thanos goes from my retribution will be swift to hey, can we hang out while I learn how to grow plants before we go anywhere
Hey,
else?
look, I have to learn how to grow
I
the
think
plants
that's,
so that my thing. It's all part of the same plan.
Doesn't that potion cost like 50,000 gold or something? Like ridiculous.
Yeah, but the materials are only like fine. They're
shit.
not even like
An
the higher
expertise is
materials
30 days. No, that's fine. I'll
Well,
just
it's
start
30
learning.
total, right?
It's 30 total, and I haven't started. Or how does that work? If I already have proficiency, so then it would be 20 days?
Correct.
Okay. Well, then, yeah. Okay, I could learn an expertise.
Sweet. Then I can also learn carpenter's schools.
What, just out of curiosity, what would be the, like, tools for navigation, like, on a ship?
Navigator's tools.
Cartographers or navigators.
Cartographer's
yeah.
tools. Well, cartographers is strictly for geographical maps. Navigator's tools is more for charters. So navigator's tools is what you want for a boat.
Like,
Cartographer's tools is what you want for land. Yeah, because there's the differentiation between using like charters. So navigators is almost the like interpretation of maps, whereas cartographers is like you're making your own map. Because you don't have experience of the oceans and seas, you'd have to do a great number of work to make the map, and then you'd have to have navigator's tools to interpret that map. You'd rather just have navigators and go just get the map, which is public information, charters and sea travel and stuff. Can't have boats ramming into each other. The world would totally fall apart at that point.
It's the same one as spell scrolls, so I thought that I could be the ship's navigator at the same time I pick up the spell scroll thing. So maybe that honestly would probably be more useful for my time.
Spell scrolls is calligraphers. No.
I think you updated that.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Spell scrolls is calligrapher's tools. It's in the Excel sheet. I have yet to update the world binder with any of the information just because it's kind of fluid right now. I don't really want to make an import into that and then have that change. So it's calligrapher's tools, something that is definitely capable. If you don't have proficiency of that during this downtime, you only need 10 days. And so if you all just kind of sat around here for 10 days waiting for everything to blow over, you could also just get proficiency in something. Start making spell scrolls. You can also be working actively during that time as well. So you can do both at the same time. So you can be messing around with the calligrapher's tools, learning some things, getting the book education of it. At the same time, you can actually be taking every 2 hours doing a craft or a check, right? To generate some coin and to get rank up in that tool. So for example, right now, if you took 10 days, you could essentially get 8 hours worth of things. So it's 4 hours per day or 4 checks per day times 10. That'd be 40 checks that you're doing, just nonstop working on that. And you would be, at that point, be an apprentice, which gives you +5 active and +2 passive. So you'd already be pretty well ahead. So again, this shouldn't
Almost
feel
a
like you have
journey.
to spend, it shouldn't feel like you have to spend like months of game, months of time, downtime just to do these things. It's definitely wanting to give you them if you're going to take the downtime, but then go, right? Because we are adventurers first and foremost. So just giving you food for thought. So I dragged the medium-sized boat into the group sheet. So the treasure sheet now for the ill-fated should be there associated. So that'll take 10 days worth of time, anyways. It sounds like either we wait for that or we don't. But all right, so everyone have their items that they need.
Yeah,
Mhm.
except for Lucar, we need to
Yeah.
put the stuff on him.
Yeah, I'll drag them into his sheet. So
How do I make the staff roll the versatile damage?
you should be able to hold down V when you click it, and it should do the versatile damage. Or I can just change it right now for you on the stat block.
Man, you're really planning on hitting shit with that, huh?
It's
Let me change the
it's a
stat
bit at
block for
this
you.
point.
God. It's so weird to have dark vision.
I can see clearly now. I've got my ring.
I mean, you were gonna have it one way or another because either it was that or I was just gonna be casting dark vision spells on you.
All right, go
Straight
ahead
up
and
took that spell for you.
Do you not like my light? God.
Why is
I
your
wish I
thing
could-
called Dragon Slaying Staff of Warding?
Because he's a
Changed
troll.
to say that.
That is fucking funny.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and swing it. Go ahead and target and swing. It should do your dex based for the attack damage.
Should rename my crossbow at some point.
I thought about renaming my staff, so
Okay, then hold down V and then click it. Is that a hard one for you?
Damn.
that was ruthless, bruh.
Looks like it didn't
Straight up
want to get the
savage.
D8, so could be sticky. Anyways, if you two hand it, you should get a D8. But I'd imagine you still want to cast spells and stuff, so you probably just single hand it.
Oh, that's true, I guess. Can I not use it as an arcane focus?
So the staff of warding is not a object that can be used as an arcane focus.
Oh,
That is one of the particular things about that staff, because it is not a unique item. It actually is a produced item for a great number of individuals. It can be used for other things, but yes, it's not an arcane focus.
well, then I guess one-handed it is.
One hand
Just
on
be
the staff,
Rafiki,
one
man.
hand tapping his drums.
I guess those dragons I'll be slaying with it will have to die on one less average damage.
I think they'll be okay. Yeah, so how long are we staying?
I think 10 days, right?
10? We're just doing 10? Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
We're gonna
if
do
How long
that.
does it take to complete language proficiency?
10 days for proficiency, and then 5 days for half proficiency. If you're going for expertise, it's 30 days.
Okay, because I have 5 days completed, so another 5 will give me proficiency, right?
Mhm.
Nice.
And I guess I'll just work on a calligrapher's proficiency.
Me and Lucar are going to talk to Guildmaster Chow, and we're going mage hunting.
I'll do that at night. Since we're only allowed to work 8 hours a
He
day.
still has to steal his best car, so.
I do also still have to steal the best card.
You also have to
That
craft
man-
my
That's the
plate,
culmination of his life's work.
my elven chain.
I also
Oh, you're-
need to borrow Maldor's belt of giant strength.
You
to
can't
make
do
real
that.
quick.
You can't do that if I'm going mage hunting. You have
You
to do it
can-
before we go.
You can wait. Yeah, I want to do that first.
Do that one first. Yeah.
Yeah, do that one first, and then I need to go figure out who I'm going to learn herbalism from.
After I'm done
You
getting
probably
Sylvan,
just learned it from Bruga.
Oh, true.
after I'm done getting Sylvan, I'm just gonna do a bunch of push-ups to get proficiency athletics. Oh,
Cue the montage.
Cue montage.
We come back. Tegan's got a 20 strength and is just fucking
It's just all
buff.
ripped.
the gym rat.
Aren't you
I am
weaker
a
than me?
tiger. Doom, doom,
What's your
doom.
strength?
10.
Yeah, you're weaker than me.
You don't know the true struggle until you have a 6 strength.
I
Throwing
bet
it
you
out
have
there.
a better saving throw than you do.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I mean, probably because you have a staff that boosts your saving throws that I gave you.
And also 3 3 protection items.
I also have 3 protection items.
Which is
So
ridiculous.
you guys are probably even, honestly.
Well, he is the staff, so
Oh yeah, the staff is only 1 higher.
yeah.
My
Yeah,
saving throws
I
are
have a
insane.
+4. So what's yours?
Mine's a +4 as well.
Oh, okay, so we're the same.
Yeah, well,
I have
you
a-
know what? Look at this one.
I have a +11 to con.
How? Oh, you only have you have a +11 to your con save? Is that bards are proficient in con saves?
No, I took Resilient Constitution out of the late.
Oh. Look at that. Oh no.
Look at
And that's
that.
our one.
Is that a
I
plus
clicked her.
13? Oh
Yep.
yeah, because you're fucking. Oh my god, dude.
Look at that. 30.
Oh, that's because you got the +5 from Luke.
Oh, here.
cheating.
Dude, you're gonna
I'll
be
give
able to
it-
tell the dragon to like do barrel rolls and shit.
Here we go. 22 with a 6. I rolled a 6. Oh no, I
This
rolled a
is
9.
what the sessions turn into, a game of rollies with saving throws.
Pretty much.
Wisdom.
Anyway, so Baldor, you
no,
mind if I
pretty
borrow your belt for today, and then you can go mage slaying tomorrow?
Sure. Don't get it dirty. You're gonna have a dry clean.
I'm literally
Tegan will
going to go to the
approach with his
blacksmith.
staff and
Put an
say,
apron
Thanos,
on.
I don't know if this will aid you, but its powers have yet to be unlocked. I don't know what its true calling is.
Shut up. God damn. Varys thinks to himself every time Tegan talks about that goddamn staff.
I'm just glad that now he's on the staff and he's over this crossbow fucking thing.
Yeah, it went from being focused on you to being focused on me.
Crossbows, the fishing rods, the staffs.
He gets so hyperfixated on items. He's this is the best shit since sliced cheese. And then 2 weeks later, he's like, this is the best shit.
All right,
Just
so
Distraction tactic.
how do I make this now? I go into Elvish Techniques. Go to
Yes.
Chainmail.
You should be able to go into the little hammer on your character sheet at the top of your header. Crafting. You should see that there are a list of recipe books that you have access to. Giants and Monsag showing the poison of Jampir, which is those berries, those juniper berries can be used as a poison. They have recipes for the Belt of Frost and Strike, Dragon Skill Weapons, Dragon Skill Armor, and Dragon Helm, showcasing some of that stuff to you. In addition, now Elvish Techniques, and one of those inside of there is the Elven Chain, and that has the recipe there. And so Ruga simply just gave you the materials that you need to be able to make it. In terms of the check that needs to be done, you'll be making your Smith's Tools check here, which is going to be a strength-based check, and you're going to either do that passively, so no roll needed, or you're going to have to make it active. Now, Elvish Chain is rare, so you need to get to a DC of 18 to be able to do that. So either
Yeah,
you
if
do that,
Maldor lends me the belt, then I should have it.
you're going to swap belts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna lend him his belt for his day of
Wow.
crafting. Or lend him my
How does
belt.
that? How does that feel?
Like I can make any item that I want.
It does, doesn't it? Oh, I have a little bit of maybe some bad news for you.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
You want me to tell you what it is?
Maybe
So
ahead of
bad news.
time, because if he's gonna break my belt, we're not having that.
Nothing's going to break. So you have in your possession Volvog's hammer.
Oh no.
Volvog's hammer.
You're
is
trying to
an
put on a
enchant-
belt of fire giant strength.
Volvog's hammer is a magical item gifted by the god of Thrym, which is someone that is this deity that the giants worship. Now, giants, not just frost, could be fire as well, right? So fire and frost giants. This is Thrym. However, the belt of fire giant strength is not attuned to you and seems to have struggling when it is, almost as if there is contestation emanating from the hammer that is making it so you cannot attune to it.
Unlucky.
Well,
Now,
Oh.
that simply means you maybe have to put the hammer down and then attune to it. The hammer's not an attune item, but then you won't have access during the
I'm not gonna be able
craft.
to use the hammer.
Yeah, you can't use the hammer, which means that you instead of getting two, it's only one craft. So it's not too much of a disabling because remember we're now to artisan rank. So artisan
I'm
rank
already
really
master
states.
anyway, so
Yeah, so artisan rank is really just for tools in general for that style, less the Kolvox. The Kolvox is just helping you out in terms of that. So this is more lore based than it is.
What's my proficiency? 4. Could be at a 17 without the hammer, or with the hammer. Unlucky.
Well, I mean, that
I'll do the
was-
roll.
I was gonna say, what you just have to not
Oh.
roll a 1, right?
Okay, your choice.
No, I have to.
Giving
What
you-
is it?
Give you that
A 1 or a
ability to-
2?
So just
Can I
don't
give
roll
myself
low.
guidance on that check since I know guidance?
There you go.
Oh. Okay.
Dog.
Dog.
So now, where is my Smith's tools? Is it set up properly?
I think you just have
Inventory.
Kolvox hammer in your inventory.
Yeah, I just don't know if I ever changed
Yeah,
the.
easy.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
you roll.
You
You
just-
roll.
Plus a
They're
D4.
pretty fine. Yeah, plus a
Right.
D4.
Oh yeah.
So you're getting to work during this downtime, making ease, using the workbench tool area up in the dungeon. There's
42.
enough things here to heat up as well as to get the stuff hot. And really, it's just enchanting. You're taking a base chainmail here that's already done. You're coating it with the oil, and then you're making work and doing things with the bones and kind of powdering them down. And so it's more of an enchantment per se to the metalwork itself. That the metalwork is done. So 42, easy enough. You can go ahead and make it. So go ahead and go to that recipe thing, and you can be able to drag in the items, and then voila, you have it. And you can trade it to your companion.
Yeah, I may just wear it myself. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, it's pretty nice.
Fucking love it. I'm just gonna wear it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you can change it to yourself. Now, the rest of you, for your downtime, so if you're going to reach proficiency or half proficiency after the 10 days, go ahead and do it. You can make those changes to your character sheet right now, and then just make a journal note on your character sheet, or you can actually go to the journals tab and keep track of that stuff there in the journals tab, just to know what you've been working on and stuff like that. But you can go ahead and do that right now, because we're going to just fast track these 10 days. In terms of Maldor and Lucar, you're actually going hunting. You said for mages of the Reckoning, you're actually going to go. So, explain to me a little bit about how you're going to manage that. Are you simply just going to have Ruga teleport you to the Rudikar headquarters, or are you going to?
Yeah, the thought was, I think Coolrez told us that the Rudikar would probably know more about who might be running things. So we would ask Bruga to get us in contact with the Rudikar, whether that's teleporting us there or arranging a place to meet or whatever they want to do.
Okay, so that that's a good point of role play. That's probably what we're going to role play. So I'm going to get everybody into the actual Rudikar headquarters here. That's based out of Alathan, so they have observance of perspective, and then I'll probably go through terms of points of Bruga teleporting and connections being made with the Guildmaster, and then having that meeting or introduction for you, and then having you sent there. So instead of just bringing you both into the Rudikar, being like, "Hey, look, Guildmaster,"
Yeah. Oof. Hi.
more or
Yeah.
less introducing first, and then being like, "You saw those people when we went into the Grand Chamber at Coolrez," and setting up the introduction, and then the meeting could be taking place. Okay. So I'm going to drag characters down onto the map here. We'll have Lucar, obviously Lucar with, but Lucar's not here. And then we'll do Tegan, Thanos, and Varys just for perspective of vision. So You are currently in the northeast side of the structure. The structure is a large sandstone bricked building, 2 stories with an underdwelling. The staircases here for the upstairs and below, listing with wood planked and paneled, are secured by wrought iron doors with bits of wood to help them aesthetically, but they're showcasing very unique locks to them, suggesting kind of keys that are needed to unlock them and go below or go above. The building itself has 2 large warehouses with portcullis gates that could be raised, and alleyway feeds from the west to them, where they have cranes and other hoists, and they have a variety of supplies and things that they negotiate and deal with. This is a Thieves Guild, and this Thieves Guild's Rudikar, actually, this is one of their main headquarters. So this is a guild house that is the guild house of many others, perhaps. And so a lot of these Rudikar branches at this point are rather independent. They all have their own guild masters in those houses, but they still stay connected. They still have messages they seem to it, and they probably meet, in terms of yearly or even every 2 years to really negotiate things. The Rudikar are infamous for information gathering. That is what they're particularly good at, is gathering of that stuff. And then coming out and working with government or other sorts of entities and giving that information. Think almost as if you want to hire a private detective or something, right? So you figure something out, that you go to Rudikar for that. Now, the goods and things that they work with on the warehouses, those are things that they're protecting and holding for companies. So in Alathan, they actually work as mercenaries that are for hire to protect and escort goods, to stash them, to have watchful eyes over them, to track them where they go and keep note of that. They have their own boats as well that they can ship things around the world. And so they showcase a little bit more variety of the skill for their coin. Now, there's a common chamber met after a small kind of entry chamber. The entry chamber is used for lockers and other things to disarm you and other remove you weaponry and other things that would be posing threat in the guild house. There's also a secretary or a house master that's there that takes note of people coming in and going and that sort of thing. You all didn't go through that. You didn't even go into the common chamber. Bruga has ordered you over literally directly to this space for this meeting. And for the sake of it, we'll have Bruga in the room because Bruga's not going to leave you all here and trying to have you flub yourselves around. So we'll have Bruga maybe take a seat over at a nearby adjacent table. And the room seems to have been cleared outwards here as the guild master most likely came from upstairs just down to here for the meeting. The guild master is Chowrazam, has been introduced to you by Bruga, and you also have a little bit of description here as I gave it prior to at the Grand Chamber within Kularez's compound. See, as the guild master Chowrazam is just kind of smoking on the pipe, has a little bit of a curliness to it, and just kind of puffing away, with both of you sitting down at the table.
I appreciate your accepting this meeting.
You are most welcome. You are heroes in this city for what you have accomplished. And I have spoken with Kularez in great length. They have high value of you all as grand champions.
Yes. Well, as you saw, I'm certain a particularly nasty group of magic users has decided to take it upon themselves to declare us their enemies very publicly. I would be very grateful for an opportunity to enlighten them to the errors of their ways.
You are trying to hunt something that operates in the shadows, the darkness of space. And they do so by magical means, not by physical, like us. This can be very challenging. The eyes and ears of the Rudikar are vast, and we have listened for a great number of their movements. But they are like us, that they have not taken any sort of threat or anger or aggression until now. So we have taken time after the attack in the Colosseum and we have listened to who might be connected. Those that we were able to capture, poison, and bring to secure locations were not easily convinced to give information. There is one that might know more. Madame of sorts. Lady. Master of their house. If there was one. Salty Brine. It is a small brothel in half of a ship. Small place. Seemingly nothing in Cheapside. Secretly, Madame Laurel. She negotiates with a great number of noble houses for a courtesan service. Connection was spilled by one we have set to be tried and true by the Justicar compound in the Talthars, the Alden, port of the city. They will use their magic, their zone of truth, and their divine to try to get information from that further. Hopefully something good comes of it. As our means were not necessarily fruitful. But we did get this name. Not someone that has any sort of affiliation with the Mages of Reckoning, but someone that might know more about them. The difficult part about this is that the Madame holds others under their belt. People that would make enemies quickly. They also have use of our services from time to time. As you can see, we are a little bit of an impasse. We stir up any sort of trouble. Speaking to them and making light that we know they have maybe a connection, possibly a connection. We could sever profitable business for nothing. This could be a good job for all of you. You're grand champions. Coming as a neutral party to discuss this. Out in the open as well. Now, you are hunted. This is much so. Given the attack and what Kulores has said, you might not find it upon yourselves to want to venture outside in the public. So I can see making way and speaking to the Madame or going into the Salty Brine might be an issue.
Perhaps, although it does have the makings of a rather useful, effective trap, perhaps.
I would not mess with the Mages of Reckoning. I understand you are powerful. You have a great number of magical items upon you, and you have vanquished foes. This is good. This will help you. There's something you do not have, and that is numbers. Mage of Reckoning have grown the underbelly of Beelder for a long time, starting off as warlocks that pledged themselves to a variety of deities for power to overcome the Talthars, and before that the Sular Kingdom. They wanted to bring back the old ways of the continent, when dragons lay dominant, dragonborn clans and goblins pledged, and other humanoid species, for protection, for wealth, for power. These warlocks saw the cultivation of civilization as something that was an issue in the developing world around them, and they did not like the monastic traditions of the Sular and then Talthar. So, after many hundreds of years, a thousand perhaps, they have collected numbers, bringing many to the fold of their organization, their faction, and choosing to not enact of only a handful of times, and even then, declaring that it was not them, that it was some offshoot of cults, fanatics, that wished to do others harm where they did not. They could greatly outlast even us in terms of numbers. Even if you were able to set a trap and kill a handful of them, others would still find you. Others would still come after you.
That is a fair point. It is more my intention to attempt to cut off the head of the snake rather than stomp at its tentacles.
That's if you know where the head of the snake is.
Precisely. This madam you mentioned, they frequently have dealings with important people, powerful people to arrange dalliances and things. I suppose what I'm trying to discover, given the nature of their arrangements and business relationships, is this a conversation that you would recommend being more of a polite nature or more of a direct one?
I have known Madame Laurel for dozens of years. They are someone that likes to be spoken to directly and out front. But I fear that that would cause too many problems and issues with relations. From your perspective, maybe not. You come at it unaffiliated, simply out in the wind, approaching them. Little ambition, except for answers. Still poses the problem of getting there, getting that meeting, working in the shadows, staying outside of the watchful eye of the Magi of Reckoning if they linger still in the streets. There's been a number of days, and they may have went back to their underbellies and wherever they came from. What I can do for you is this. I'm willing to risk it. What have you done for the city? Take it as a reward, perhaps compensation for a service rendered. I reach out to the Madame Laurel. I will simply state the Rudikar wish to host a party, and we are in need of some services. I wish to discuss this in a little bit privately, the details. I will usher them here, the very place we meet here. A private but yet public location. That's how we do business in the outside of the ears, but still in the light of the public. I will bring them here on a meeting. And Bruga, I'll have you teleport into the space. After I make pleasant introductions and what the meaning is truly for. I risk my reputation on it, Grand Champions, but I feel that this is proper compensation reward for services rendered in this great city.
It is much appreciated. Hopefully, we get the answers that I'm seeking, and perhaps we rid your city of a problem that is mutually beneficial for all of us.
Perhaps so. Pokes the pipe a little bit further. Pulls out a little parchment, ink pen and quill on the satchel pouch, and begins to write a handwritten letter and note. Begin to fold it up. They grab onto it, look towards the staircase, the stairs to the north side where the door is at. Is there anything else you wish to discuss?
No, I do not believe so. You mentioned you had some prisoners you had sent to the Talthals. Are they all gone? Do you have any still within your company?
We do not have any within our company at the current. We do not keep them for long. If they are enchanted or other magic is upon them, the others would scry. No.
Of course.
We need to quickly get them onto the road, the direction of the Elder.
Yes, that makes sense. No, in that case, I believe our business is concluded.
I'll make note for the meeting in 3 days. We'll meet at midday. I will have some lunch prepared. Maybe that will staunch the unpleasantries of a rude interruption. You may bring the rest of your Grand Champions as well. The meeting will not take long. Looks towards Bruga. Beds the head. Bruga. Pleasant as always. All right. At that point, kind of bringing you here back to this map. Just going to kind of change the scene just because we're essentially coming back into the scene. I'm also going to advance the day here. We're going to say probably on the same day we'll have that meeting. Actually, probably the next day have that meeting, and then 3. So it's here, the 5th. So it's about midweek at that point in terms of time.
No longer exhausted.
That's right. So you can go ahead and remove that.
Long rest so I can change my spells.
For sure. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and do that, that's totally fine.
Don't mean to interrupt, but my internet is completely shitting the bed to the point where nothing in my apartment is connecting to the internet right now. So I don't know what's going on, but yeah, that's where we're at.
Okay. Well, most of this is role play terms of stuff that doesn't necessarily concern. It looks like Adam wants to leave this with Maldor, so right now we're trying to get through that. So it gives you a little bit of time to get your internet back up, and we'll see what happens and try to stay with us as much as you can. Hopefully, it resolves itself. No worries either way. I haven't been as Steven has a message. I don't think I can see that. So hopefully they get in at some point. Who knows? And then I was surprised. I was surprised you were here, Deuce, because you said that you were essentially unable to play. So
Yeah, luckily we got it all done by like noon. It wasn't as much as we thought it was. It's like 3 rooms worth of stuff, like wall to wall, but yeah, we got it taken care of.
gotcha. Good. All right. So bringing us back onto scene, Brugge is going to teleport you. I'm going to have it paused here as they go through a description of the character here. So one of the things to note, this NPC and their companion NPC actually used to be completely different in terms of their name and their description. My wife has liked to have an influence on the game in some way. This is the character that my wife and the companion have made. So the companion is Concierge Michel, and their name is Madame Lowell, which my wife's name is Lowell. So there you have it.
Hey.
This is the description that my wife wanted. You ready for it? A sexy and robust human female with large breasts wrapped into a full dark leather brassiere and girdle, black wavy hair and hazel eyes with a red knit headband that hangs down upon her chest. She has several pieces of gold arm and wristbands as well as a layered gold necklace. The brassiere and girdle help form a dress as her legs appear to be covered by a loosely fitting red skirt with a white laced shawl. They have black leather heel boots that go up to their knees, and they have a 2-inch heel. There are daggers tucked into the boots as well as the skirt. And some of your passive perceptions are able to see that. So they are armed, but they're hiding and concealing that. Currently, they're having a conversation with the Guildmaster Chow Razam, and things are going quite pleasant with some food items that have been laid out, tankards of ale as well as wine. There's some cheese, some fruits. A very light lunch has been served here at the noon hour of the 5th of Volt. I'm not going to change the time at all, just stating it's the noon. And you all kind of teleport into space, Brugge, using the cylinder as always. And as you kind of appear in space here, independently, you're able to space out between the tables. And you see as the Madame immediately stands up and kind of turns over to the left. The Guildmaster raises the hands outwards. I did say that they were going to come. Didn't say how. Apologies. It is necessary. Bam looks towards you all. So these are the grand champions of the Colosseum.
Indeed.
I
Welcome.
suppose that's what you call us.
I am Madame Lowell. Nice to meet you all.
It's a pleasure.
What can I do for all of you?
I'm sure you are aware of the activities at the Colosseum the other day and the fallout thereafter. There are a particularly vexing group of mages who have very publicly declared us their enemy. Something I find to be a tactical mistake. I would like to find the closest thing they have to someone in charge and illuminate them on their bad decision making. As such, I'm reaching out to influential people around the city who might have more information.
Looks towards the guildmaster. I see things were discussed without me here. Wonderful and very delightful. You always speak this direct?
Yes.
Takes a slice of cheese, chews out a little bit, taking the tankard of wine, pours one tankard and another to fill it over the brim. Gets a sip on it, then gulps it large, half of it down, slaps it down. I mean no ill will to any of you all. My establishment and my business allows me to be introduced to a number of individuals, and connections are what I am in business for, bringing people together for a variety of intentions. I work alongside my concierge, and together we are able to bring about a fruitful service. The Salty Brine is a small establishment built the half of a ship, a ruin and wreckage that was brought long ago when the shores of Lathan had spilled forward in the great winter of a storm. It is merely a front, as I'm sure the Guildmaster Chalazam has informed you all. My main business is getting into the rooms and the chambers of very powerful people. The Magi of Reckoning are the Reckoning in general is a people that do not deserve to be killed or to be slain. They have had much turmoil against them. The Talthar dogs are ruthless, and they have led incursions and crusades against them for hundreds of years. And before that, the Sula Kingdom. They have lived in persecution for their beliefs and their ways. And why should we be the ones to cause problems against them? Why should we be the ones to put them to death?
Do not misunderstand me. I actually empathize with their plight, and I am no friend of the Talthars or their ways. But if someone declares me their enemy, then I am their enemy, and they have chosen poorly.
You always go around like this?
Like what?
Speaking like that. Moves over to the guildmaster and sits down in the chair, puts the boot on the table, kicking over a couple tankers on the ground. So authoritative. Have you even lived before? Enjoyed the fruit of your labor?
The fruit of my labor is violence. It is not something that I particularly enjoy.
Well, then violence will not win you this war. Master of Dragons has many allies that they have worked and accomplished over a number of years. Before the war began 8 years ago, Wizardscape was attacked 9 years ago, a year before that. And from that, dismantled the very powerful sovereign mages that held themselves into the kingdom. They looted, they stole, and they very well may have occupied. What do you think the Master of Dragons was doing before 9 years? You think that they have just been simply idling by before they attacked? No. They have been encouraging and building an army. One that would be powerful enough to march against the Talthars. And they would have won that war, and it would have never gone to the lengths it has if it hadn't been for the Temerian Republic intervening. I do not wish to see innocent life lost. I do not stand with the Master of Dragons. Something has changed in the dynamic of the Reckoning. They were on the fence, whispers through the chambers of a great number of powerful individuals that have some affiliation, association of supplies, gifting to them and aiding their efforts against the Talthars in secret. It has changed. I don't know why. And honestly, I don't care.
In fairness, you're
Their
not the
business.
one they're calling for your blood in the streets.
No. So I think that your war is not met with more violence. I think your war is met with more persuasion.
You are suggesting that those who are hunting us would be amenable to negotiation.
Of course, if an organization, a faction is willing to lie in the underdwellings for thousands, if not hundreds, if not thousands of years, and now completely change that script and come out into the light and ally themselves with the Master of Dragons, then they must be well educated and persuaded enough to be able to stand down.
Then I take it to mean by your suggestion that you are capable of arranging such a negotiation.
I am, for a fee, of course. You all are grand champions, and I've heard there was quite a wager gifted to the House Fortune in favor. So, riddles with good coin, for a right price, I can negotiate such a meeting.
I'm gonna, when she says that, I'm gonna telepathically to Maldor say, listen, if we want to bargain with these mages, we want to have some kind of bargaining chips. So by us completing our journey to the marshes, then to Ismar, and stripping power from him, gathering some power ourselves by maybe recruiting the Silver Dragon, that would be the time to come back and negotiate. I think this is maybe a little bit premature. I don't think we're the fact that we have to hide out shows that we're not on the foot to take him on yet. And I think you would want to negotiate when you're ready to, or almost ready to take him on. If that makes sense.
That is very insightful. Thank you, Lars. You have very strong opinions about what should and should not be done with this group of people. What do you think, shouldn't such a negotiation happen, what do you see as an alternative? That they're just going to stand down and stop trying to kill us? What do you expect we would be offering them? I have no need to kill them, but my only offer would be their lives for fucking right out of my business.
That is exactly my point. You do not have anything of value to them to offer them. You have no words of aid in their organization or their faction, however the Reckoning see them. A guild, perhaps, company, who knows? So, that's something that you need to figure out. That's something I can bring to the table. And if the ears are willing to listen, then perhaps we will set a meeting.
I appreciate your offer. Understand that asking was a courtesy. And Maldor's going to cast Detect Thoughts.
Okay. So actively using verbal semantic components to throw out
Yeah,
magic.
it's very obvious. He's not being
He's-
discreet at all.
Guildmaster Chow Razam stands upwards. This was supposed to be a pleasant meeting.
It is
I
not an
think
aggressive spell.
whenever I think
What magic is this?
I think whenever he does the detect thoughts, I'm gonna counterspell it and be like, let's calm down here.
Wow. Okay. You're gonna
Yeah.
counterspell the tech thoughts.
I'm gonna counterspell it.
All right. So Maldor, you see as you're enacting your magic verbal somatically components, Various said a power word towards it, vibrating the energy, and your concentration is lost.
Listen, Maldor,
I
I
wasn't going
understand.
to hurt anyone.
No, but it is an invasion of privacy for a meeting we asked to set up.
This person invades people's privacy for a living.
No, they get information by being charming.
This
Listen,
is simply a more direct means to the same end.
no, this is
I
not.
tried being charming the first time.
Goodness. Boots still up on the table, being the face bomb.
Listen, Maldor, I understand.
That is what
why-
you refer to as being charming? You didn't even bother to come up and shake my hand or to kiss the nape of my neck. There's no charm at all.
I understand what you were doing. I think we are doing it the wrong way. And I would think if we want to rally people to our cause, maybe help people, you don't do it by breaking down doors and being invasive. You do it by persuading them that you
The
are
streets of this city were red with blood from these fools hunting us in public, and you are worried about my manners. Do not dare get in my way again. I welcome your counsel, but you will not raise your hand against me.
I suppose it is time to go. We will get nothing more from this.
I'm going to turn to them too, and I apologize.
These Madame Laurel stands up, begins to approach. Your passion is invigorating. Your spirit will not be met with the same against those that do not have a take. You're more than welcome to reach out to the Salty Brine directly. If you have something that is of worth, of value, that you might be able to persuade, I will make the connections. But do know that I don't know a particular one person that is of them or not. They are even as secretive and elusive to me as they are to the Guildmaster Chalbazam, which I am sure they have told you. They made it their business to not be found, and they have done well in the development of this place to not. The hells, they might not even be here. This might be their supporters. Guildmaster Chabrazam, it has been a absolute pleasure. And you can take this as my most humble thank you. Guildmaster stands up, bows the head. As always, but grumbles a little bit. Begins to walk outwards, opening the door, stepping through, shutting. Ruga stands up. Well, they're not going necessarily as well as it should have, but I can take you anywhere you wish or back.
I suppose our business is concluded for the moment. Thank you, Brugo. And
Of
thank you,
course.
Guildmaster. I hope that we have not caused you any lingering damage.
I'm not sure about that one, but come to that when it happens. I will continue to keep my eyes and ears to the city and inform you if we capture another.
It's much appreciated.
Who comes by, activates the cylinder, teleports you back in the direction of the dungeon. So, after that information, getting that, in terms of perspectives and things, not everyone has the whole piece of the story. The Madame Laurel being a supporter of them might not be a direct supporter, but definitely an indirect supporter of the cause of the Reckoning and who they are, stand for. Those moralities were completely just not even in the decision making. Them is a person of business, and their business is in the exchange of information, charming, setting up meetings, that sort of thing. And they're not even willing to go and set this thing up unless you all can come up with a way to motivate and to have something on the table that is worth. Now, I think that might take some time to figure out. Out of character, me personally, I actually can think of a couple things that you might be able to bring to the table to that conversation. Just know that with the guildmaster not being able to find others now after the course of those days, right? Because we went through a handful of days, might suggest that the mages of reckoning have left the streets of Aletha and have stopped hunting you in some light. So you're getting that perspective, right? The Rudikar would have found or have seen or observed, right? And they would have brought that to your attention. The Guildmaster had kind of stated indirectly that they hadn't. So who they had captured in the recent times within that day or the next day, right? Prior to that initial meeting with the Guildmaster, they had already gifted, most likely to the Naval Command, partitioned into jail cells, sanctioned without magic, and then now carted as quickly to be Elder. They could not be rescued. Trying to get that interrogation. So maybe the next step, if you're after the reckoning, is to go to be Elder and seek out who they were able to capture and see what information they have in terms of their inquisition. Regardless of that, there is another pathway here, and that is bringing that to the table and maybe coming down and seeing if you can turn an enemy to an ally. If the reckoning were influentially changed by the Master Dragons to come out here and do this, is what the Madame was saying, then they have to be equally as receptive to be able to stand down. They're in their own self-interest. They always have been. So what is Damodar offering them that is willing for them to come outwards and now start the attacks? Perhaps this is another fanatic section of them, right? As they stated, first and second reckoning. Maybe it's an occult of them that is coming out, fanatics. It's not the entire thing. It's just completely unknown to you all, and that is very scary. So have the downtime here. We still have a number of days, roughly 5 days worth of the 10. So at this stage, I'm just going to go ahead and advance the time clock to the 10th here. Kind of get towards the morning of that day, about 10 o'clock or so on the 10th. Volt. And Maldor, you can do, right, you have a number of days, you can do other downtime activities as well as Lucar, if you so choose to. Maybe taking a different angle of approach if you'd like. But in those days, the Rudikar are not going to communicate that they have found another. They were unable to capture more. So disappointing perhaps, but if there's anything you wish to accomplish or anything else you wish to do, you can go ahead and state that now.
No, I think he's good. He'll just brood and contemplate the rest of the week.
In terms of relations here, obviously, Varys, you just got absolutely yelled at by Maldor. Are you gonna, are you gonna try to have a conversation about that, or you just throw it over their shoulder, being like, "He's bad"?
Oh, I mean, I'm fucking fuming. So, but he wasn't gonna yell back at him and have a yelling match in front of people he wants to have good relationships with. So I think whenever we got back, he was like, if you ever fucking threaten me again, you will never see me again. Don't ever fucking talk to me like that. And then walk out of the room. And then probably just try to stay to himself for the rest of the time that we have downtime.
Okay. I'll bring us kind of to here in terms of that. This is the actual, this is the actual workshop kind of work area, right? Mixture of tools and other things. This large, massive area with these multiple circles to kind of go between spaces. This is kind of where that conversation probably would be had, courtesy of Thanos working. It's kind of the common area, if you will, that you're kind of hanging out and working on larger projects and stuff during the downtime. There's also a study. There's other places with seating and stuff. The north in that circle there to the north. And so any other opportunities you want to have in terms of discourse with each other, you can here if you ever want to come back after that 10 days. But after that 10 days is going to end, we're going to basically be here, right? This is where we're going to be at after 10 days. Lugar is here. I've just been, kind of made their token, disappeared at that point.
Hello,
so-
lovelies.
Hey,
Apparently they are here now.
he's just been hanging out.
Yeah.
You say he was here for a couple minutes, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have that. I can't see them, so I
I
have
saw
the other
box
screen
pop up,
minimized.
but yeah, I didn't know who it was. I assumed it
Okay.
was him.
So, Stephen, we've been doing downtime activities. You should have magical items, courtesy of the list, put into your inventory and equip those items. They should be accurate. One's the dark vision. I think there's a ring. Those are all in there. You have a remainder of 33,500 gold pieces. That has been combined with about 768. That is in a group sheet now turned treasury. That's a new sheet we have. This is ill-fated and party assets. And we had some lore that has happened, or not lore per se, but more role play with two characters, the Guildmaster Charazam and the Madame Laurel, the Salty Bride, who the Guildmaster Charazam indicated as someone who might know more about the Reckoning. And from that conversation, it yielded that the Madame Laurel is a person who does course and services as well as essentially making connections with people. And they know that there are supporters and affiliates with the Reckoning per se, but they're not willing to go to the table to try to set up a meeting until you have something worth of offering to make that happen. Stating as such that they have allied themselves with Damodar and there should be as equally receptive of trying to disband that alliance if they're holding out for a number of hundreds, if not thousands of years against these monastic traditions and kind of hiding themselves away. So they're very intelligent, very wise people, this faction. So you were with that conversation. You were a part of that. So we're kind of at the end of the 10 days here. And if there's anything you want to work on in the 10 days, like proficiency or a tool, you can. But right now we're going to kind of conclude the 10 days here after that role play and the fight between Varys and Maldor. And so, if you're going to, in terms of what you're going to do next, that's where we're going to be at. So this is going to be active right here
Cool.
on the map is where we're at.
Okay. Yeah, the only thing I would probably do would just have been get as much information from the navigator and the head of ship's guy and his people as possible after we had that conversation.
Gotcha. Are you going to be asking any sort of specific questions, or is it just general charters and other things?
I think just kind of filling in. So, having spent 10 days essentially with the Golden Hand, right? And learning more about, the actual ship itself and the art of sailing and everything. And then this guy who was so incredibly forthcoming with navigation data and all that kind of stuff. I think it'd be more probably navigation / trading / that kind of administrative aspect.
Okay. So you could probably put into, after the 10 days, I'm going to go ahead and say you have proficiency with navigator's tools at that point. So you can go ahead and click on the proficiency with navigator's tools there. In your character sheet, you should be able to funnel down on the attributes tab and look at the tools. Then you actually click that pop out there and then click that you're proficient with that tool. In addition to that, you're still kind of working on sailing, but you're pretty confident with the boat because the people that you're having build the boat, also the shipwright, have connections with also the ship master. They kind of go hand in hand a little bit in that way. So everyone at the dock district really knows each other in that lower dock and such. So you're able to work and understand the mechanisms of the ship. In addition to potentially negotiating a crew, right? Because that was one of the topics of the party was, do we want to hire out a crew for the ship and have them go out where we need them to go, that sort of thing. So you're building those connections and that rapport. And we'll say that you have proficiency in navigator's tools as well as understanding the ship that's being built for your party and that. So. Sound good? Okay. Did they
sorry.
speak? Oh, yeah.
No, I muted myself when I was off the screen.
Captain Lucar.
Arrgh.
Yeah, I think the talk was that the ship is going to take like 20 something days to build. So we were going to have Bruga teleport us to the marshes when we were ready to go and then just come
Cool.
back and get the ship later.
Cool. Yeah, can we have
Oh.
hey, Varys, you wanna summon a new familiar? You wanna make him a parrot and he can live on my shoulder?
Maybe after we're done with the marshes. Although I
Always
don't
stick out
think,
like a sore thumb in the marshes.
although I don't think Varys is talking to anybody right now, so you'd probably have to fucking seek him out. 'Cause
Oh no.
he's brooding.
Maldor yelled. You missed it. It was great.
It was good.
Oh. I'll have to go back and watch it.
Is today the day that we're leaving? Is
Yeah,
that the
so
plan?
today would be the day that's after the 10 days. You've collected the gold from Kulores. Kulores has brought that to the Grand Chamber. The remainder of your coin, after you used it for the purchasing of magical items in exchange of Bruga, that coin has now been pocketed by the rest of you, either in the chest of holdings or your other storage spaces. You now have that within. You have all of your magical items ready to go. You're done with tinkering of those tools and the other things after the 10 days. And the boat itself is going to take another series of days, 10 days, right? It's 20 days total for the medium-sized boat. But that doesn't really matter. Lucar has that kind of connections at that point. Simply states right to the shipmaster, this is where you want the boat to go. Here's the crew that you should assign and take it there, right? So that stuff we can do on our way out. But right now we're kind of at that decision point of what to do next. Now is the time. The downtime's over. You can obviously do more downtime if you really want to, but now is the point.
Thanos last night then probably would have broken into the blacksmiths.
Okay. That's where I was thinking. I was wondering. I was, we're
Yeah,
having
that's
the
why I was like,
blacksmith.
if we're leaving today, then I'm breaking in the night before we leave.
That's a good choice. You clear out of town immediately.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, let's get a little bit of a tune going, huh? Let's see here.
I mean, it should be pretty easy because with Pass Without a Trace, my passive stealth is a fucking 33. So, like,
Yes, but how is your sleight of hand?
yeah, we don't need to talk about
Are
it.
you allowed?
I thought your science was decent.
It's a +4. I'm not proficient with it. I learned Thieves' Tools and not Sleight of Hand. Oh, though, you know what? Actually, I know what I would do. So, the night before the night that we were leaving, I would use my Ancestry trait to trade my Cartographer's Tools temporary proficiency for the temporary proficiency in Sleight of Hand, knowing that I was going to go rob shit.
Okay.
So,
All right. So you make your way in the direction of the blacksmith, the master smith. That is Master Torvin's smithy. So as you begin your approach, you throw on the Pass Without Trace, being mindful and watchful of the eyes of the wall, the certain towers that are pitched, this naval compound that actually overlooks the blacksmith. There's torchlight and the braziers that are lit up there. Some soldiers walk around patrol, making sure no one just sneaks in blindly into the naval base. There are a guard on the road as well, patrolling and moving around with their torchlight, talking and whispering. You then dart into the alleyway in the direction of Cheapside through a series of buildings. Throwing on the Pass Without Trace, you make a stealth check. Give me a roll. 45.
be 35 because Pass Without a
Yeah.
Trace. Yeah.
So, vanquishing into the night with the darkness and space, you begin to scuttle in the direction of the back door that sits large towards the kiln, the canopy covering of the back end of the blacksmith that faces south. You then dart in through a mixture of different supplies of scrap metal and other wagons that they have pitched around here at a large well, hiding behind very briefly as two halflings have little conversation passing by in a nearby alleyway, whispering to themselves, "Did you see what I did there? I did! Ha ha ha!" Drunk upon themselves in the dead of night, perhaps heading away from the salty brine, back to some other areas of the northern side of the city. You then make your move towards the door. The door is shut, and there is a lock.
All right. I will be picking said lock with my thieves' tools.
Making a thief's tools check, you go in. 14. Begin to jingle the lock slightly, and you feel a little towards your tool. You pull it out, then you move the door handle, and it doesn't open. You're unsuccessful in this first attempt.
All right. I would give myself guidance, and then I would do it again.
You go trying to take a different angle and approach the kiln nearby, as well as the well, the fire of wood that has been splintered and cracked around, crunching underneath the debris. You haven't heard any motions or noise. You feel confident for another time. Give me another roll. 25
A
plus the guidance.
D4.
26. You unlock the door. As you do, you begin to turn the door to open it softly and slowly. Slide a hand check, please. 12. As you open the door, there's a slight creak at the end of the actual. Right when you get it to a point you can squeeze, there's that little bit of a creak right at the end. Some of the actual hinges. Noting as you step inside to the darkness, you're still invisible. The staircase sits adjacent to your left-hand side when you enter, which is to the right when you enter through the double archway heading north from the shop floor. The can't coming. You understand as you hear kind of a slight cough from up the stairs as it goes up and then rounds back around to the second floor. Master Torvin sleeps here.
On top of the Beskar.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the best car's definitely got to be up there. So yeah, I mean, we got to go up.
Okay. You look around for crates of different things you can maybe pocket. Is the Beskar down here or not? You don't see any crates labeled with the Beskar as you make nimbly way, but you do find 2 crates with dark steel, heavy as they are. They're underneath the stamp nailed down crates. They're unopened, perhaps produced ingots ready to go that have been smelted, rather than scraps that you have to work with later. You feel good in that. But then, main prize is the Beskar. You know that's not down here after looking through the L of the shop floor, the actual smelter, the forge floor, I should say. And then you proceed upstairs, being mindful of your steps this time. You continue with your stealth up. One stair after the other. Then to the landing, which goes halfway between the first floor and the second. You continue back around above, coming into a common area with a balcony overhang that sits to that staircase. You then stop. The mixture of a couch up here, there's a slight table, there's a kitchen with a stove, the fireplace that fits over adjacent to where the forge would pipe through. Hallway exists going directly where you enter from the staircase. You look straight ahead, crosses over this space, which is about 20 feet in terms of its width and length, and that goes to the actual hallway. From there are 3 doors, 2 of which sits on the left and 1 of which sits on the right. There is no other door or pathway that exists to your adjacent left, because that's filled by the space that's around you, which essentially is a common area. There are trinkets and personal possessions here on shelves, but it's very loose. Master Torvin doesn't really keep a whole lot of things here. Get an inclination from your passive investigation. That's got to be one of those 3 doors. But which one is the bedchamber? Which one's the storage? Which one is the other one?
I was gonna say, do I hear Master Torvin moving around at all?
Roll perception.
So many rolls.
9.
Nope.
As you begin to listen, you're looking left and looking right. Stare behind you creaks. Master Torvin, I'm just kidding. Master Torvin's behind you.
That would be my luck.
I'm just kidding. So with a 9, you don't hear any movement. Nothing. You are isolated and alone. On the top of the staircase, right inside, just adjacent to the common area.
And so we got 2 doors on the left and 1 on the right. I'm gonna assume with it being a blacksmith, the storage area is probably the larger one. So I'm gonna check the right door first.
You begin to make motions, aimed down the hallway, continuing your stealth. The moonlight shedding through the overcast of the rain peltering some of the windows of the common area. One single window exists in the opposite of the hallway. So, right, if you're going to the hallway, it's at the end of the
Mhm.
hallway. There's a window there. You then look to the door to your right. Turn the handle. It's locked. Simple key slot underneath the wrought iron handle.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna pick this lock. Hopefully better than I picked the other one. We're gonna guidance first, and then we're gonna pick a lock.
Using verbal components, speaking incantation outwards into the air. You heard another cough. It comes from behind you. Second door on the left. 10 feet away from your current spot. You're going for
Alright,
thief's tools. 20. Roll a d4. 24. Stick your thief's tools in, and after a few seconds, the door unlocks. Simple lock, unlike the back door, which had a more complicated. Feel good. You turn the door handle, and you begin to open the door. Quietly. Slide a hand, please. 24. Hinges more lube this time. You open it softly. Not a peep, not a whisper, not a noise. You step into the room looking from left to right. It's a large space that exists nearby the canvas covering overhang. The windows oversee that spot, covered in soot and charcoal from the kiln that pushes smoke past. There's another window. That one faces toward the window of the hallway. Both of those kind of side by side, but now this one in its own chamber, its own room. Glittering in this space are a few chests locked with padlocks, one of which is slightly larger than the rest. There are barrels here, 4 to 5. There are crates, and there are piles of rope and other mixtures of supplies, sacks and things. So this does appear to be a large storage room.
do any of the chests or barrels look like they have Elvish or Sylvan on them?
Make a perception check. Or investigation, I guess I should say. You can do either. 13. You begin to look at the barrels. Most of them are marked and stamped with various places that exist throughout Arthuria. One of which is from the Harak Mining Company. Crack the lid and just look inside very softly. You can see that it is impurities of other minerals and things that are on the bottom of the barrel. The barrel is empty. The barrel has just been stashed up here for storage, maybe to be used again. The other barrels, as you uncork them and look in, very similar in nature.
I guess I would try the biggest chest in the lot would be my second.
Make way to the biggest chest with the padlock there. Look towards it. It's almost dead center of the storage room, with the other chests slightly nearby, off-centered. Floorboards move, but your stealth holding true. Look towards the padlock.
So I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to change my tactic here, and I'm actually going to cast silence in the room. So that way, even if I do break something, there's no sound.
Okay.
And then I'm going to try to pick the lock. So over these rolls, man.
So you're not gonna hear him when he catches you.
10. As you reach your thief's tools in, you begin to muddle with the padlock. Your silence spell casted outwards, filling the room. It's taking an awfully long time, and eventually you can feel a tug on your thief's tools. Do not break, but they were close to it. You pull it back.
All right. Well, seeing as how the silence spell is up, I'll actually give myself guidance. No, guidance is a concentration. I will not be giving
That's
myself
correct.
guidance. That is how I ruined my whole thing. Yeah. We're just gonna go at it again.
Go for another attempt. 19. This time, you can feel successful. Takes half the amount of time, but at the click, the padlock opens. You then slide it off the locket.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and open the chest, see what's in it.
You go to pull the chest open, and as you do, there is a slight twang noise. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, good God.
Small hand crossbow at the back end of the chest launches with the trigger. As the dart flies, dodge out of the way of it, goes through your silence to the wall, a large thick, covered in elvish-like runes and feathers. You then look at the crossbow. Looks nicely made. Very simple, though. Inside, fine wrapped, are multiple ingots of Beskar.
Yeah, I'm just gonna immediately throw all of the Beskar in the bag of holding.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and drag that asset. So again, we're making the crafting weight and other things very simple. It simply needs one Beskar material to make one piece of weapon and armor. And so I'm simply going to be dragging that Beskar metal into your inventory. Showcase that as a precursor material to what you wish to make next. The value of this Beskar, if sold, is extremely significant. It is a very rare thing, this Beskar. But you wish to get it for your companion. Pocket it into the bag of holding. There's a lot of it to make one piece of armor weapon. There's a significant weight here to the Beskar. It's hefty. And when you touch it, it has a very interesting property. It tingles a little bit when you touch it with your hands. Almost as if it's alive. Very strange. The bag of holding can contain the weight. You're able to put it in. Close the sack. Make an intelligence check for me, please. 19. Good. You can tell the difference between Artemis and the bag of holding.
Yeah,
I gotta get him. I gotta get him, man. I gotta get him. Can you imagine if he got like a little roll? Oh shit! Artemis, that was yummy. Thank you.
Thanos comes back the next morning. Guys, look, I got it.
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
is it?
Oh no,
Yeah.
nobody knows I'm doing this right now. This is fine.
Yeah, no one
So,
knows.
you-
It's so good.
You pull the Beskar into the bag of holding. You sling it, close it up, and you softly lower the chest down. But even if you were able to lock this, the mechanism to trap is triggered. If you're going to hide your tracks, you need to reset the trap, putting the dart in. Or you can leave it as is.
No, I'd reset the trap.
So you pull the dart out of the wall, walking back. You load the crossbow and you pull back. You then begin to tie off in the direction of the lid to set the snare. I need you to make another check, please. Thieves' tools. Set this trap.
Don't need thieves' tools. These poor thieves' tools have gotten more use.
Natural 20. Easy. You close the lid. Take the padlock. Close the locket. Sling it through. And lock it down.
All right. And then at that point, I would drop concentration. So cast Pass Without a Trace once, silence. Yeah, so I would drop concentration on silence and then go back to
Drop
Pass Without a
concentration of
Trace.
silence. You see an old gruff human standing in the dark.
Wouldn't surprise me one bit. And that's when Thanos jumps out the window and uses his cloak to fly away. That's fine.
So when you end this time spell, you did mindful of shutting the door prior. You then begin to open said door to go back out into the hallway, or you can open one of the windows, trying to take a different approach. Your choice. But remember, there is still Darksteel to take.
Yeah, there's still Darksteel to take. I knew I was going to go back for that. Yeah, so I'd go back for the Darksteel. So I'd go out the door.
This dude's
Make a-
robbing it blind.
You make a sleight of hand check.
let you work in his forge. You're a piece of shit.
No.
Ned, as you open the door to go back to the hallway, to stay within the building to get the dark steel below that you left, didn't bother to take. The door creaks wildly. Then hear the sound of a shifting bed and the weight against the floorboard.
Is it dark in the hallway? Am I still
It is
invisible?
pitch black. There is no torchlight or candles or lanterns, oil lit. No, this is all dark. You're still invisible.
All right. I would just quietly find a corner to stand in.
You leave the room, going down the hallway back into the common area, moving quickly, shutting the door on your backside. The door opens. See a soft lantern being held and candle as well. I should say a candle being held in one of those little holders. See them in a tan tunic draped low with small knit socks covering their feet. Hold out the candle as they look down the hallway from left to right, pushing the candlelight in the direction of the common area. Candlelight doesn't hit you. Fleeing by a nearby shelving area with numerous trinkets and things, pulling yourself into a sardine-like stance. The light doesn't hit you. As it continues to swivel, as they begin to motion from left to right. As the light pulls back, figure goes back into the bedchamber and shuts the door.
All right. Yep. We're gonna head downstairs and we're gonna steal some of that dark steel.
Begin to move downstairs,
Unfazed.
heading towards down, wrapping around back into the forge floor. The lock still undone of the back door, adjacent to your right. You continue to push forward, finding the crates of dark steel. The issue here is noise. Grab a crowbar from your thieves' tools. But the issue is the nails. This will make some noise.
I still have third level spell slots. Yeah, I would cast silence, knowing that I would be cracking open barrels.
Throwing off another silence spell. You grab the crowbar and you go to work. Please make a strength check at advantage. I don't make these rules up, by the way. These are all rules.
Didn't roll at advantage, but I'll roll it again. Yeah, that's fine.
19. You're able to pull the lids off, revealing 4 different precursors to dark steel items.
Sweet.
You take them all.
Yeah, because. So, question for you on the pocket cottage: does it actually have to be in cottage form to use it as storage, or can Herbert just eat stuff?
It actually needs to be in. The cottage has to be formed, and you're basically
Fuck
leaving
it,
things
do
in
it.
the cottage. Just basically.
No,
Drop the
that's fine.
cottage.
No, that's fine. I would just steal the dark steel stuff. I
You
don't
would
have
steal
it.
all
I'm
4?
much
My house
more-
got hit by a
Yeah.
house.
Bringing into inventory 4 precursor to dark steel items, weapons and armor and space metal. Putting them into the bag of holding. Bag of holding is full, feeling
Mhm.
hefty in its own weight, sacking it around. What do you do next?
I head for the back door, planning to close it behind me and attempt to relock it.
Go ahead and make a check with your thieves' tools to relock the door.
Fuck.
15. You pull in your thieves' tools. It's a little bit difficult. Concentration on silence to navigate the noise still spills out the back door. So you maintain concentration. At the same time, you're able to lock the door, ending the concentration of your silence as it's no longer useful. You're now outside. You hear the laughter of 3 individuals a few blocks away. But then they pass by in that laughter, suggesting they've made way to the main road.
I would use my final third level spell slot for Pass Without a Trace to leave.
Make a stealth check, please.
37.
37. Vanishing into the night, you begin to make way back to Brugger's shop. We're now in the morning of the next day, or should they say the same day, depending on the night we go out.
Yes.
Secret agent man.
Move the time just a little
what's
bit
the
further back.
James Bond theme song?
I actually think I have. I want to say that I have like a noise like that. Let me see. I have
Jesus
this whole.
Christ.
I have this whole ambience called literal. It's literally called Secret Agent. Like
God, I
here's a
would have
jacu-
loved that.
Here's a jacuzzi.
That was so tense. So many rolls that I was like, if I roll a nat 1, I'm fucked. I'm just
You didn't
fucked.
even check the other
You rolled-
chests.
Nah, man, I went in there with a purpose.
Yep, that's what I was thinking of.
This is like yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What if there was like 200,000 gold in that room?
Huh? I just stole 100,000 gold worth of Beskar and like 120,000 gold worth of fucking Darksteel, dude. That's pretty much Thanos going through. Yep.
You piece of shit. That man was so nice to you.
I only robbed him for 180,000
Oh,
gold.
I
It's
wish you
fine.
could have played this.
Put it now.
Especially
said-
during like the fucking door being open and the light being shone.
Yeah.
I hope that was entertaining for everybody else
Oh,
too. That
I'm just picturing Thanos doing the Salma Hayek under the laser grid. Like,
Here's music islands.
No, it was just I could just imagine. I could just imagine like Thanos whenever he like opened the chest up and the crossbow shot, he went like that and he was like, "Fuck this guy." As he's stealing his incredibly rare metal.
No,
Like
it's
even
worse
as
than
Leona
that.
said, that guy's a piece of shit.
That's pretty much his thought process.
He's a
That's why
piece
he was
of
like,
shit.
"Yeah, I'm instantly grabbing the best card and putting it in the bag of holding." That man just tried to shoot me. What
It's
do you-
worse than that. It's so much worse.
You stole over-
He explained to us how this was like the culmination of his life's work and how
Yeah, it was like a
you know
a gift from his
not
from
even the dollar value. After we won 300,000 gold and then spent it on other shit, we still robbed the guy blind. God
Yeah, because
damn.
we had to spend the 300,000 gold on other.
He doesn't have
shit.
a forge to make anything with it. Fuck him.
True. He needed us to pay for the forge. To use the
Who
knife.
needs
He's
to
looking for a
wait?
handout.
needed a
Okay.
handout. We were paying for her service.
Thanos, you cannot build a forge on my boat.
Yeah, you can.
Huh? What do you mean?
Fires
There's already
on
one on the
boats are
boat.
no good, bro.
I can tell you right now, you won't be able to hear him making it.
Oh my god.
I also don't need
Okay.
to make a forge on your boat. I could use Tegan's special recipe that he's got for me.
oh, the hot plate.
Yeah,
The hot plate.
that was
So
wild,
we're-
though.
That yeah, you could probably make that, and we have to figure, recipe wise, they probably need to create a recipe for that. I actually haven't yet, recipe manager. So, anyway, so we're gonna kind of move our way to break. Given that we went through that heist, I hope it was entertaining. I could have played more music, but I didn't want to cause problems for people. I was blasting music in there.
It was
Obviously,
so
we got to
much
hear
fun.
it afterwards. This heist. You all don't know unless Thanos is going to share that information with you all that they stole. But you might have some inclination that they, since this is a very small communal space, you're actually staying within the dungeon of Brugas, and you have to use these teleportation circles, and they actually alit and they glow, and a slight hum emanates when you use them. That you most likely know that someone had left and then came back. So that is some information that you all can probably have some insight into. Now,
I could
what?
be st-
Right. Why, who, right? That sort of thing. Come to that role play in the morning here of the 10th, which obviously, Thanos, you have been up all night. You've been doing this, interacting and working through the stealing. So you actually are going to be back at exhaustion level 1.
That's fine.
So, anyways, we're going to go ahead and take a 10-minute break here. If you're watching the stream, thanks so much. Really appreciate it. hopefully it's been entertaining. I know we've done crafting, we've done all these things, but it's really important, I think, for the group. They really wanted to make it an emphasis of getting this stuff done. We did have some role play too with the Madame and Guildmaster, and then some of this cool little heist. So hopefully you join us for the second half of our session. And again, we'll be back in 10 minutes. So it's about 1:36 or 1:37 p.m. PDT. And we'll see you in a bit.
Chat.
I was
I
about to
need
say,
a bit.
How do you think I felt?
All right, welcome back. Thank you for joining us for the second half of the session. Get started with ill-fated here. We are on the 10th of Volt. Thanos is exhausted now from the shenanigans that have happened overnight, and now we are in the morning of the 10th, deciding on what it is we were going to do next.
Love how Thanos is like, yeah, I was so scared. If you would just walked out and caught you, you literally just shoot him twice and he's dead.
But he was so nice. I didn't want to kill him.
He's so nice. I didn't want to kill him. I'm just gonna steal from him.
What alignment are you?
True neutral. I have no problem robbing the man, but I don't want to kill him.
Robbing him of his life's work.
True neutral?
Like-
Are you true neutral? There's too much chaos here, man.
Yeah, I think you're
Too much
chaotic
chaos.
neutral.
Join me in chaotic neutral.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but-
at this point, I don't really feel like I'm lawful good anymore.
So alignment is really just a foundation for your roleplay. Honestly, if you wanted to change it, you can. There's not really implications in 5e that have any consequences.
I can just change it.
Mhm.
If you wanted to, I do actually alignment checks for players when I see them doing some things and they have that trend. I'll actually do alignment checks to get them more in play with how they're role playing. Case in point, Thanos.
Let's let's alignment check Varys because he's been pretty emo lately. Like he even changed his outfit, you know, and
Yeah, he
I'm
has
about to
gone down
change
the
it
dark
again,
path.
actually. I,
Varys
I have
hasn't but Varys hasn't directly done any sort of like recent evil actions, right? Or even unlawful actions.
I definitely don't think I'm chaotic.
we
But-
land in Alathan and he's like, "Let's go kill shit."
But that's a lawful thing.
Well, it's not illegal.
Because he wanted to do it in the arena. Yeah.
Yeah, let's kill shit in the pursuit
Unless-
of money.
Unless Varys has some moral code to themselves, right? Then Varys game, right?
And then we killed monsters. We didn't kill people
Well, kind of.
until they attacked us, which at that point is fair.
Those
game.
people had it coming.
Yeah, those
feel like
people
we
got
could do-
absolutely shreked.
I feel like we could debate this for like the next half of the session. The morals of the
No.
Colosseum.
It's fine. All right.
This goes back to the
let's
nature
nail
of
down.
dragons.
We're going to the swamp, right? We're going to the marshes of Unveiling, right? And Brugus teleporting us there.
As long as Bruga can get us to the edge of the marsh, I can get us anywhere that we wish to go inside the marsh.
Ruka cannot teleport you into marsh. But I can teleport you close to marsh.
That would be very helpful.
Where would you like to be teleported to? Where around the marsh would you like to be?
Before we do that, Bruga, do you happen to have an extra herbalism kit by any chance?
Ruka reaches down to the list of supplies in the multiple drawers underneath the shelves, looks towards you, holds a canvas kind of covered kit, looks at you. Ruka does, but Ruka would like one thing in return. Keys.
But yeah, Thanos would kiss her. He has no idea.
Here you are, my sweet thing. All right, I'm gonna drag a herbalism kit into your inventory.
So who all's become hookers for Bruga now? Tegan, Varys,
And
Thanos.
Thanos.
I mean, hookers. We're just we
You
just
have
gave her one
exchanged-
kiss.
You have exchanged physical favors for goods
I mean, to be fair, only 2 people have slept in her bed.
of
so-
value. I'm just saying.
Though Tegan did get the the whole whip treatment.
Yeah. I forgot.
How are those nipple welts, Tegan?
All right.
As far as where on the marsh is, I believe.
Well, where's the marsh map? because we can. Isn't there the? I'm trying to think of the.
The south side is probably where we want to be because we
Right.
want to meet the lizard folks, right?
But yeah,
I want to meet the
With the
lizard
mar- the
people
mar-
and go to the southern tower at some
Yeah.
point.
So I think the south side would be,
way to put the Martian map up.
if you don't mind.
Maybe 1 second. Remember, I had to basically
Mhm.
have to re-import the maps and stuff in because of
Yeah.
the
update.
world updating and things. Yeah, so I gotta get that back up. I figure it out.
I kind of
It's gonna-
remember it.
It's gonna bog down for just a little
God.
bit of time as I import.
We're going in there as a totally different party than we went in there the first time.
Yeah, except for the fact that your survival tracker dude is exhausted right now. So have fun. Good luck.
When is he not at this point?
Oh. And he's going to be very distracted by flowers.
That's on brand.
Yeah, I guess that will be the first time I've talked to Oliver. So we'll see how that goes once we get there. I'm sure he'll
Alright,
be.
so you should be able to
Nice.
click into the map at this point, and I'll also activate that scene for the stream.
Yeah,
It's just Alexander in disguise.
I think if we could
Ooh.
get. Well, actually, we might want to be at the southeastern part of the map.
Yeah, go up through the
Hit the-
lakes of,
Yeah.
or the 3 lakes of the Does, and then hit the east tower. Yeah.
Hit the east tower, and then maybe we can scout around Thixia and see. Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, Thixia,
Well-
and check out what's going on.
You have to remember it's the north tower. Hold on, let me double check my notes.
Yeah, there's a massive encampment of like all the bad people right there.
And
One of-
yeah,
one of those.
one of those is Lady Trilia from Thanos' backstory that he's told you about, and the other one is the evil the plated armor knight that Thanos also told you about.
Well, we still have business to finish with them.
Which one did we fight?
The plated
one-
armor knight.
plated
one,
armor.
yeah.
Okay.
And we also promised, didn't we promise to put her out of her misery to what's her face?
Yeah, to
Ballista. Because it was her sister or
what's her
something.
name? Well, they were one of the same people, and they got corrupted. So yeah,
I just want to scout. I don't want to go in. So like maybe even honestly, I could just send Oliver in the area,
Yeah.
get him to check it out, and then come back
Huh?
and let me
What?
know what he sees.
no, all those people are on my hit list. We're killing them. What do you mean?
We got to kill all those people anyway.
Right.
And Thixia is where the actual congruence opens, I think, right? So we should probably
Mm-hmm.
once we investigate the towers, we'll probably have a better idea of like when to go there.
So as a game plan, do we want to hit the towers first, then Thixia, or Thixia out to the towers?
I would hit the towers.
The
first.
towers and then Thixia, because
Yeah.
the whole plan is to figure out how their congruence works. And we
Okay.
did promise to kill lizard people to the frogs.
We
Yeah.
did,
That was really not.
but like I'll kill
Uh,
any lizard that comes at me.
I think
looking
you
fun.
guys. I think you all were not serious about that. I think you were just.
Yeah. We had talked
Yeah.
before, but some of the lizards didn't.
Thanos
get,
is
like,
always
wanted.
serious. What do you mean?
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
And I just wants
we
to
can
steal
recruit
from
them.
him.
but they don't have any good metal. They're little lizards. They probably make their weapons out of bones and rocks and stuff.
Mhm.
Hey,
Okay.
I bet you they turn into really good organic material.
So yeah, southeastern part of the marsh. We'll go in, hit the lakes, hit the east tower, south tower, west tower, back to north.
Yeah. Well, once we hit the
I would
first one, we'll
actually
probably have
say
a better
East
idea.
Tower. Yeah,
Like,
East
you
Tower.
may
And then
not
we
need
hit
to go
these
to
two
all of them.
encampments.
Okay. Yep. Sounds
So
good.
you
Two
do you want to go
encampments,
through
yeah.
the 3 Lakes of Duza, or do you want to be on the south or north side of 3 Lakes of Duza? Because you don't have to go through the lakes unless you want to.
Do we really need the lizard people? We can ignore them.
Yeah, no, we had just talked about potentially recruiting them to like sack Thixia or something, but we didn't get anybody else because we were going to recruit them along with like the druids and stuff, and they told us to get lost, basically. So
Nobody had any interest. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. So I would say maybe we just go the south side, like on the main map, like here somewhere, if we can.
Like
See,
where the actual nomenclature stuff is right here. And just like
Yeah.
come up to Eurosatra. Is that what the plan is? I mean, again, you can go through the Eggs of
Yeah.
Duzep, and you know the lizard folk were there. That was the information provided. And you attempt to reconvene with one of the tribes. Or convene with one of the tribes.
No,
saw how
'cause
that
I feel
went
like
with
that's
the
gonna end up
Buckeyes.
in us killing people. Yeah.
yeah, probably best to avoid them.
Okay.
So just go south. So east side of the river on the south side, so we can go up to Asatra,
Okay.
up towards Crepple Lake and everything. Yeah.
Gotcha. Give me one moment. I start configuring some things.
Do we still have a 50-gallon barrel of water in a in a bag of holding from Zeph?
Yeah, whoever took Zeph's bag of holding.
I don't know.
Who has that bag?
I
I
thought
think
you
I
did.
do,
One of you did.
Yeah. Okay.
I have the
but
chest.
I don't have it in my inventory, so I have no clue.
I was gonna say I know I have mine because we bought me mine for all the arrows.
Because there was also a diamond or two in it for Revivify,
Yeah.
which I have.
Well, then do you have it?
You do now.
You have it now. You have
Yeah,
the diamond.
You have the bag of holding.
But what else was in the bag besides water?
Water
Yeah,
and
that's about it.
diamonds.
Water and diamonds.
Water and diamonds. That's all you need, baby.
Oh God, that's so funny.
Okay, so you're going to be reaching the tower at night, courtesy of travel. So you can also wait a little bit on the edge if you want to form an encampment on the bog that exists surrounding on the southern side of the marsh. It's a barrier between the city kind of area, metropolis. There's a thick bog that surrounds large kind of water and little islands and things. Makes it very difficult to navigate through. Or you can continue to press through on that day and reach there at night. So kind of opportunity if you want to approach at night, or do you want to approach during the day? In addition to that point, you have to understand the time distortion is still a thing. So there was this overencompassing thing that was happening where you had like this series of days where it would just be completely light. So if you do teleport at the edge and walk in, you might reach actually the tower in that light, but you're going to feel like it's at night. Does that make sense?
hmm
Okay. So that's kind of what the play is here that I'm kind of thinking now is to just kind of teleport in, just start heading there. And then you shouldn't be exhausted anymore. But you'll still feel like you need a rest at some point in the next hours or so. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and create some ambiance here, and then I'll be going through a little bit of a description in terms of what this place is. So, as Bruga, you gather around Bruga, and you begin to interact. Bruga begins to interact with the teleportation cylinder. Begin to teleport you onto the southernest edge of the marshes of the Veiling, right before the fog is kind of rolling in on itself and causing distortions of sorts, where it's kind of rolling in on itself and then pulling back, and it's really thick at that point. You can't really see into it. You're in the thick of lower grass to short grass and pools of water and other sorts of inlets of a different space. And from here, you can actually see that there are skeletons of creatures that have kind of walked into those water spots and then they've like sunk into it. And some of their armaments and their different things are there, showcasing that perhaps undead have actually tried to make way towards Alathan. And the bogs that surround, quite vast, many miles of which towards the city of Alathan, have actually impeded their travel, stopped them from being successful in the movements of themselves. Almost as if they've kind of submerged themselves into the water, getting stuck, and then losing whatever it is that made them undead over a period of time. Now, the weathering of these creatures is significant, showcasing that this has been going on for a number of dozens of years, if not hundreds of years, that they have been pushing outwards in the direction of the city, but to no effect, perhaps stopping when that was unsuccessful after the several of times. So you pass into the marsh. You look towards Brugge. Brugge waves the hand towards you, simply says, "Good luck. If you die, don't worry. Brugge has you." And smiles a little bit. "Well, some of you anyways." Works a cylinder. It teleports away. Now you're starting to feel a little bit weird. Right? What was that about? But Brugge is what Brugge is. So
I really like her.
you then pass into the fog. You begin to immerse yourself into the large embankment of it, then passing in to the marsh. Now, there's a little bit of water here. It's about a half a foot deep, so your boots and everything getting quite muddy. And then eventually it dries up after a couple miles or so. The trees really rooting themselves, grasses and these large bulbs and fungi, critters alive. This is a very much alive place. There's large amounts of small, medium, and then large size. You see maybe a huge snake kind of slithering and navigating itself through, and then maybe sensing you all, skirting itself away. Our vision is occluded here. We can't see very much further past us because of the fog that's making way and rolling around. And that's causing us to have a little bit of issue in terms of our perceptions with sight. So we're relying on sound. With the critters around you, you're getting a good sense that, hey, you know what? There might not be something big and evil and something coming at us because the wildlife is alive around you. What's that?
Not to interrupt you, but I think at this point I would summon Oliver to kind of be our eyes in the area and scout around.
You're summoning Oliver, the bat here.
Yeah.
The bat puts itself upon your shoulder, looks towards you. "What is your bidding, master?"
Hello, Oliver. I need you to constantly, if it's not too much trouble, scout around the area and make sure that there are no creatures sneaking up on us. If you see
I will
anything
try to do
big,
my best, master.
if you see anything big, Oliver, come straight to me and let me know.
What does big mean? Big is like a big tree? Big animal? A big mushroom?
Big animal, big monster, big tree that is actually moving and coming towards us.
Moving. It's of no consequence, master. Lays their leathery mammalian wing across your flesh. I'm here to serve you and you only.
Thank you, Oliver.
You're most welcome. Big slight.
Wow, that is a big change.
I think we should kill that one.
I walk over to
Thinking the
Thanos.
same thing.
I walk over to Thanos and I say, 50 gold says that's Alexander in disguise fucking with him.
Thanos just holds out his hand to like take the bet.
I shake it. The thing is, we'll never truly know.
That was weird. Okay. Importing maps makes things great. All good.
So are we planning to camp out in the marsh before the tower?
I thought that's what our plan was.
Aren't you exhausted right now?
That look, I live this way now.
State of
No,
being.
no, let's get some sleep before you go anywhere. You do a tower exhausted.
You know what exhausted does? It gives you disadvantage on ability checks. Do you remember what happened in that tower?
That was saving throws.
Oh, that's right. I thought I was
But
thinking you
either
had to
way-
break out of it, but now it was a save.
Either way,
Saving
though,
throw?
in case you have to
Hug.
use your gift at all.
Hug my ass cheeks at all times.
I would also be looking around for any interesting plant life that I could harvest.
So that you can make
But-
potions.
Did you learn
Hell
anything
yeah,
about
man.
plant?
Huh? Yeah, I'm proficient in herbalism now, sir.
Yeah, we sat around waiting on him to learn about plants for 10 days.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
That we
Well, that's
did.
why, like, we set up all those meetings to go hunt the mages while he was doing that. That's why we did that, because we were waiting 10 days for him to learn about plants.
So really, the group conflict is your fault.
Right.
Most
This is what
things in this
happens when
group
you
are
give
really
us free
Thanos'
time
fault.
with nothing to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So, make a herbalism check here. So roll your herbalism kit and use your wisdom as its modifier, or nature, or survival, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna roll it and see what happens. I don't know why that. Oh, disadvantage. Yeah.
Still pretty good.
Oh, though I guess I would technically be a novice, right? So there'd be a +5 to that. Because 40 checks in 10 days. Yeah.
Well, did you do that with herbalism, or were you doing that with something else?
Herbalism.
Yeah, then yeah, you're feeling quite confident with this check. 21. As you begin to navigate around, collecting different things that are surrounding this place, you're going to get two particular reagents and creature materials, and a certain value of those for the time spent here of navigating through this region. It is going to be a little bit slower in terms of travel time. You're going to have to take it just a little bit of time just to slow down to collect these things, but somewhat beneficial. You know the direction towards the Urasatra. You also know what lies ahead, Thanos. The grasslands that surround Crepple Lake, especially those that border the forest in directions of the grasslands of Urasatra, have undead in them, in the grass. They patrol and they roam and they monitor. You know, as soon as you leave the tree line and have to make that break across towards the Urasatra, you will encounter undead roaming, and that might pose a challenge. But here in the wood, you feel slightly safe. You know they don't necessarily come in here too often, and that has a level of comfort. You have 5 flasks of Goop Common that you're able to get here, and then you have 5 bundle of thorn stems, and you're able to find 5 of those as well. Those are in your inventory now.
Sweet.
Right. I'm going to go ahead and drag your player characters down here to a map, because this is where we're going to have a little bit of fun. Perhaps not. After the number of hours spent harvesting, you eventually come to the edge of the tree line. The grass growing thick, and those creatures, those things, are all very much ceasing at this point. You're leaving that at the backdrop. The birds and the critters all making that lively noise. As soon as you come to the edge, it's like ghosts. They just stop. And you have a slight wind that kind of carries itself through, just a very low wind here as it's carrying itself through. And it resembles that of a forest in terms of its wind here, but has a softer kind of billow to it as it pushes its way. Just a little bit of ambience in the background. The fog includes your vision here. You can't see 30 feet outside of that. As you find yourselves in position. What wind I wanted. How many wind sounds? I have like 5 million wind sounds. I just want to find the damn one.
The one.
Run
The
people,
chosen
run.
one.
Excellent. Okay. Down.
I just got goosebumps from this wind sound.
Pretty creepy.
Is
We about to get ambushed by undead.
we are. Oh, actually, while we're moving, one of us could use our helm to ping a dragon if we want to know where he is.
Oh, Grugash? Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Who's doing that?
I'll do it since I brought it up.
Okay. It's tapping into your helm. To get a sense of perspective, you are feeling and sensing that there is the 300-mile radius from your current position. You sense that there is a dragon. In addition, you sense that there is another dragon within 300 miles of your position. As you feel and sense this information, you can sense that there is a dragon close, near to you, northwest, as it lingers. The presence is strong. Northwest, that intangible sense. Again, cannot specifically tell of where it is at, exactly where it is at. You just know that it is a certain number of miles, less than a couple dozen towards the northwest of you. And it feels in the ground from your current spot. You also feel another dragon, which is far towards your east, slightly north. And that's kind of in the air. You can feel it just slightly moving as your sense and the helm's tingling towards you, vibrating.
I would probably relay that to everybody.
What do you think?
A little
Perhaps
Tobin.
Urgash has a layer beneath Thixia then?
Maybe it felt like it was underground, right? It felt under. Maybe it burrows. Actually, yeah, that's a good question. Have in any of the books I've read over my years of study, would I know if black dragons burrow?
Make a nature check.
Nature.
Nice.
19. Black dragons do not burrow. They're amphibious.
Oh, they swim.
That's correct.
He's in
Ow.
the river.
Yeah, I'll relay that. He's probably in the Farron River or the lake. But he could be in the water, and that's why he would feel below us. I would say probably let maybe an hour pass and somebody else use theirs. Though, and just so we can keep track of where he is.
I mean, we can only use them, once a week, right?
Once a long rest, I'm pretty sure.
Long rest.
Once a day.
Oh,
Yeah, once a day. It's a once a day thing. Just pinging over. That's the thing. It doesn't give you a complete understanding of where it's at. It's just giving you some inferences and senses to help you make your own conclusions.
So did we say that we needed to rest before we went in? Is it still morning? Did we already?
So,
the situation.
What I was saying, so it's a certain number of miles to get to Eurosatra from the edge of the wood on the south side. It would put you, if we did not have the time situation of the marsh, it would put you right around like 9, 10 o'clock at night from when you teleported and moved. So you, as I kind of stated, it's still daylight. I'm not changing the time clock at this point. You're under that change. And so even at this point, at the edge of the wood, you have a number of miles to go here, Thanos, to get to the tower through the grassland. It does not matter how you approach this. There's just undead that roam the grassland surrounding the edge of the trees here depicted on the map. And so you know that you can continue to press and it will still be daylight. In addition to that, Nightwing is dead, which was the main thing that they had stated was a threat at night. And so even traversing at night will perhaps be an issue. But you can choose to rest, right? You can pull back into the forest, find a place to rest, and kind of wait it out a little bit. But regardless of that, it will still be daylight. You'll just be at the end of your day when you get to the tower.
Right. So we'll need the rest when we get there, or otherwise risk exhaustion unless we rest.
I'll probably say you have a number of hours to interact with the tower before you would suffer any sort of exhaustion.
But Thanos being exhausted and him being the most
Oh, right.
knowledgeable
He's
about
already
this.
exhausted.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's why I was kind of hinting at. I didn't want to say specifically, but that's kind of what I was prompting to say. If you really wanted to rest, you could, because
Let's do that. I can set up the God, what's that spell called?
What?
You mean Herbert?
We
No,
gotta-
we're popping out Herbert.
We
you
got
got pop
Uh,
out Herbert. You got Tiny Hut. You got a couple of them.
I mean, Tiny Hut's less obvious, but if you want to pop out Herbert, you can.
Yeah, now that Herbert belongs to Thanos, Thanos is popping out Herbert.
Popping out Herbert.
Okay.
Pop out Herbert,
not
the
slipping
Sherbert.
in the water.
All right. Grab the little box. You look towards it. Voice and two eyes, and then a mouth and a tongue come out of the box. Hi.
Hey Herbert, I hope you and Artemis are doing well. Can you pop up the house thing?
Yeah, I can. Turn me around.
Well, turn him around and face him towards the open area.
Opens the mouth. House begins to be spewed out in prismatic spray. It begins to grow into this single-story cottage with room and board for each of you. You have room specifications, some of which have changed depending on your heart's delight. Obviously, more impressive structures and defenses provided to by Thanos over time. Begins to push back trees and other things and bushes in its way, mainly on stilts, to try to get out of the actual grass and the water that exists within the trees of the marsh. Now, you probably did this, you pulled back a little bit, so you're kind of back into the salt marsh region, so we're kind of playing that sound effect. So I'm probably saying you're about like backtracking at that point to get to a much safer area than the edge of the tree line, and then the creatures really do immerse themselves back in the same ferocity as they were before. I'll have it turned down just a little bit so we're not kind of blinded by that sound. And at this point, you're able to kind of get yourselves together, knowing you have several hours of travel left to get to the tower. You're kind of closing in on an earlier rest here. So, does anyone want to do anything for the last couple hours before you take a long rest?
Can I make sure to let Tresgol know that his babies are on the way home, so he doesn't show up to the city, burn it to the ground, and then realize it's not there?
So, Tegan, you interact with the stone, attempting to reach out to Tresgol. Please make an intelligence saving throw.
I'm not on Foundry right now because my internet's.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Do you have any physical dice at home?
I do. Hold
Would you give
on.
me a D20 roll? Got your modifiers right here, buddy.
This dude's playing a physical game
Right.
inside of.
Oh god. Oh god.
Imagine using physical dice in 2023, dude.
I used them the other day. I played I don't know if you saw it, but Critical Role's publishing company put out that dueling game,
Mhm.
and I played with a friend, and it was really fun.
I didn't see that.
Win.
Yeah, it felt like what D&D or just like any role playing game is, but like on what's it called whenever kids ride bikes and they have the little like side
Training wheels.
Training wheels, yeah. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word, but yeah, it was like any role playing game on training wheels. Like it feels like it gets you, like it teaches you that mindset of how to like, construct a story with a character and stuff like that.
I rolled a nat one.
A natural one. As you begin to connect into the stone, you're trying to reach out to Tresgol, and you're just not really able to form that bridge. And then an eruption from Tresgol themselves. What is it, my herald?
Hey, just wanted to let you know the children are on the way.
You have convinced.
I mean, yeah, the guy knew who you were. So he kind of knew what was going to happen if demands weren't met. So it
Who
was
was
pretty.
it that had captured my children?
He was a servant of the Great Gold Dragon. Well, was or still is. That was
You
kind
do
of
not
up
need
in
to
the
say
air.
anything else, Harold. Thank you for your help. Voice leaves you.
I'm sure there's no connotations to that statement.
I feel like you just made things wrong.
You just got a Lathan destroyed, dude.
The
It
Belmont
was-
are all going to be gone when we get there. It's just,
Yeah.
Hey, we need to
It's just-
find the mountain pass to get up to Mount Chris. Hello? Hello?
there's like a smoldering crater.
Just literally a
slowly
crater where a
smoking.
village is supposed to be.
Oh no!
Oh, shit. How do we get up
mean-
there now?
And can a lightning dragon make a crater?
Yeah, the breath
Try real
weapon
hard.
has like a force to it, right?
They also burrow, too.
Uh-huh.
They can pretty much just like slam their body in and burrow.
Oh yeah, you remember
Fly up in
when,
space and turn himself into a comet.
what was the white dragon's name?
Ethan.
Ether. You remember when Ether just flattened that?
Just pancake the mining house. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
This
and then he
causes
pancaked,
so much
then he pancaked
destruction.
Belu and killed Thanos' horse.
Yeah, fuck
I
Ethan.
just Maldor, you're not gonna have to worry about making enemies there. So
For no real reason, Tegan, if for whatever reason Tresgold does attack Alathan, can you make sure he blows up the blacksmith?
Fuck you. What? That's evil. Roll Z100 right now. Roll it. Roll Z100. That's what I thought. 79. 79. Yo, one step closer, Thanos. Evil.
That's fair. That's fair.
Trying to murder the man.
What What happens if he's evil though? Like, what's the?
I think it's
I
just
mean-
alignment. Thanos can't say shit like that without being evil. Are you serious?
Yeah.
I never said the blacksmith person, just the blacksmith building.
It's like, whatever they work there.
He
They
was
fucking
asleep in
sleep there.
Also, by the way, I'm
Who
sorry.
knows that?
I don't think I would have told anyone necessarily what the conversation was. Well, honestly, can I make an insight check to see if I could determine the briefness of that conversation, the implications that they hold?
Yeah, go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll a d20 for me. Tell us what you get.
I rolled a 5.
Okay.
That's good dice you got
You're-
there.
You're trying to kind of read through Thanos. Honestly, you can't just Thanos is being stoic, very serious as ever, which might have some implication to the latter, but you're unsure either way.
Oh, I was talking about what Tresgol said to me.
Oh, sorry, I must have misheard. I thought you said what Thanos. It's trying to read
Oh, no.
the words there. So Tresgol had cut you off seemingly intentionally. You can feel that from the connection. They actually had cut you off from it intentionally. It is unclear to you or not if they will act on the information presented.
Okay. So more so wasn't for my knowledge, but for Tegan's knowledge. So Tegan will just kind of speak up as we're walking. Hey, by the way, guys, Tresgol is cool. You know, I told him about the whole going back to the servants going back, and he, very brief, just checking in. He didn't have much to say.
Did you
Can
ask
I
him if he
insight
wants to
check
eat
that?
Ruga?
That is the most inconvincing fucking way to tell us.
Roll insight.
Yeah. Oh,
Tegan, are you
God.
actively deceiving?
Sure.
Oh, there's
Roll-
no way.
Roll deception.
There's no way I know.
isn't your minimum deception like a 22?
Yeah, I couldn't.
I rolled a 14, so I'm pretty sure that's a 27.
Yep, 27. You believe Tegan wholeheartedly, and they are quite serious in their words. They're not stuttering over themselves. They are uttering pure confidence.
Sounds good.
He's your best friend, and he would never lie to you.
Yeah, of course.
Before we continue, how is everyone doing on healing potions?
I have 2 greater healing potions on me.
So do I.
I actually looked this morning. I got a greater and a normal, but I
Mine are
got spells.
apparently
So
French.
No,
Yeah,
not
FR.
French. Gosh, no. It's for freshness, bro. Come on.
Ah.
I am the greater healing potion.
2d4.
They're just
You know,
made with butter. That's all.
In hindsight, I can see why, because usually FR is used in pretty much everything in French. So
Mhm.
I gotcha.
Reggae for the.
It's a fantastic talking point. So yeah, so those are the new health potions. Those have the
They're very strong.
yeah, they have the benefit of being multiple strength. Tegan, you have 4 greater healing potions, and you have 1 regular healing potion.
Holy
so,
shit.
Christ.
Yeah.
You
So
need all
I
those?
I just transferred what was in your sheets over to the new style. So.
Yeah, I'll be like, listen, if anybody wants these, I've got spells, so
I get hurt all the time, but I have 2, so I don't think I need them just yet. Does anyone not have any?
I have 1 left.
But I gave all mine to you anyway.
Right, and I've burned through them, so I'm appreciative.
I'll give
No.
Lucar one of my greater healings if he wants it.
Give it
How many
to
did you say you have left, Lucar?
give it to Thanos. I only have 1, but
Oh no, I was asking
Okay.
because I actually have materials to make a couple.
oh, cool. Yeah, go crafting. I'm gonna get high as soon as we're within visual distance of the marsh. I'm high.
Wow.
Gotcha.
What-
Smoking that halfling green, baby.
Yep. Give me that plus
Oh,
2
fuck.
wisdom, baby.
All right. Well, before we take a rest, I would make 1 potion of greater healing out of the 5 stems, or attempt to
you-
make 1 potion.
Okay, so you should be able to see in the crafting guide if you actually go to potions, particularly in plant. So there'll be plant potions. So go to the essentially the precursor first, and you're going to go through the work here, the workflow. So you're going to take the precursors, make the wort, and then from there you will take that wort and make your healing potion. From making it to the healing potion, that requires the check, right? So after you have the wort, then you go for the final brew, and that's where the check comes in. If you can't make it passively, obviously you got to make the active check.
Yep. Greater is uncommon, which is a what is that? 12.
DC 12.
And since I got 40 checks, that puts me at apprentice. So that's 5 plus 2 plus 4. That's 11 plus ability is 14. So yeah, I should be able to make it passively.
Okay, so let's go ahead and craft it. And then I'm sending a greater healing potion from Tegan's inventory to who? No one?
Lucar.
Lucar.
Oh, Lucar. Okay. Just 1?
If he wants to, he can have 2. It's up to
Lucar, you
him.
want 2?
Sure.
Okay, sending you 2 to the trade right now. There you go. Let's see that come up onto the chat.
Confirm.
Awesome. And Thanos, so that potion get crafted okay?
Yep, everything worked. That was actually kind of cool watching the items show up in steps. The module's pretty awesome.
Yeah, get the world going. I feel cool. I feel cool about that. It took a lot of setup, but I feel good. All right, so you got the potions transferred over. You're getting your long rest in. I'm again not changing the time clock here just because it's going to be the day the next day, right? So it's going to be daylight. So, and I'm going to be keeping that a little bit in suspense in terms of the actual daytime or time, I should say. So you get the long rest. Herbert, the cottage is lovely. It's warm. It's inviting. There are conjurations, even food in here now. Herbert is really showing themselves off. In fact, there is an illusion of a small halfling with brown curly hair, freckles, a fair complexion, and a slight grizzled stubble, plump features of the pot belly and of the hips. They have suspenders of brown with wolves and black boots, and they have a white cloth blouse tunic that flows underneath it. And this servant is in the voice of Herbert, and it is Herbert's own creation himself. Being a short order cook, a massage therapist, or whatever you need in the moment.
I don't like that. I don't like the way you laughed. All
right.
right.
So after we go through with our long rest here, you just abandon the cottage, closing it down. As it does, it sucks back into the box through the mouth. Then the box loses its source of eyes in its mouth. You're able to pocket that, and you get underway. As you get underway here, we're going to now transfer ourselves back into the sound effects where we lose the active marsh behind us, and we begin to go into the darkness of noise and space with the wind and the terror that will eventually interact for you. I'm moving the ill-fated backpack forward, and we are now going to a new map as you step into the grass and the fog around you, impeding your vision. It might take a second. Might take a second to load. My stream
Guys,
view
I
is having a
can
little bit of struggle.
see.
So remember, it is daylight, so you can still see, but there is a range of your vision here. Should be, anyways. You should not be able to see outside of 30 feet from your perspective. Fog thick
Thanos,
around
you.
you.
Didn't, lose your exhaustion.
Oh yeah, I would have gotten a long rest. So go ahead and take
Yeah,
that
let me
long
take it
rest.
off of you.
I just hit the long rest, so that way it took it off automatically.
Now that you begin to walk through in the tall grass, you can hear the shifting and the moaning of creatures up in front of you.
I'm gonna divide
Question.
thing
Oh, that works too.
right next to Maldor.
Does someone have a whistling going on right now? Is there like a whistle noise?
I hear it, but I can't see anyone lighting up, which is the weird part.
Yeah.
I know it's not on my end because I can hear it.
Huh.
Sounds like electronic interference or something almost.
Does anyone not hear the whistling?
How about we all mute?
All right, hold on.
Oh,
Everybody,
it was Luke Carr.
it's Steven.
That was Luke. Yeah,
Yeah,
Steven.
it's Stevens. Steven. Yeah, it's Stevens.
Yep,
Mike. You see,
that's
you have a little
Steven.
audio kind of like electrical thing happening, and the very faintness of it.
Motherfucker.
I'm
It
just letting
almost
you know.
sounds like
Okay.
a tea kettle.
Yeah, it sounds kind of like a tea kettle, very quiet, like in terms of how far it is.
Does it go away when I change to this?
No.
No.
What about this?
Yes,
Yeah,
but
we
you're
can't hear
very
it.
quiet.
Yeah, you're super quiet.
Yeah, I guess the damn thing no longer likes my headset.
Oh, good. I think it's okay. Just letting you know that it's there. Something to think about. So maybe if you're not talking or engaging, you can mute just for the sake of it. I'm gonna have Tegan here. Tegan is going to be put into a follow command of Varys. So Tegan will be following you, Varys, in terms of position. Lucar,
Then
you
we
step
run
forward
straight to the zombies.
and you begin to activate your divine sense. I'm going to go ahead and ping to you in your divine sense where you're feeling undead. Feeling undead there. And you feel an undead here. Within 60 feet of you. They're very close and they're moving.
Do I get the sense that true sight would help me see through kind of the magical fog in any way, shape, or form?
No, there's a physicalness to this fog that is impeding that as well. So there's a duo-like effect. True sight would only help you for invisible creatures, and you know these undead are not.
No.
Yeah, I would point out the locations of what I feel. Did I feel whether they're moving away or towards?
They're kind of moving around. I would say they're not moving close to you. I think they're not moving either far away from you. I think they're kind of moving sides to side or up and down slightly, very much relative to their epicenter of location. So
Okay.
think about someone that's just kind of roaming and then they're kind of turning around and roaming back, or they're turning this way, they're roaming that way. But they're kind of staying at that point, those relative to those points.
Okay, yeah, I'd point those out to everyone.
Do we wish to kill them, or do we want to go around them?
I mean, wouldn't the least amount of noise be the most optimal approach?
Yes, they're not particularly dangerous, but we don't know how many there are. And if we make a fuss, we'll have to kill all of them.
So then Thanos is going to go ahead and pull out his rope. And he's just going to... Oh, actually, where... Oh, yeah. Where is my rope? I literally was shooting it on an arrow string. Oh, it's up there. Okay. Yeah, so I do have rope. So I'd pull out the rope, and I would hand one end to Lucar. And when I tug, just follow the rope. And I'm actually going to stealth ahead.
Okay.
So I'm going to move about 15 feet at a time, kind of looking for the undead. Oh, that's a big boy. We're going to go this way. Right. We're going to go back this way. Oh, he turned around. Okay, perfect. I would tug the rope in this direction, Lucar, for you to kind of pull everyone else.
Should we all try to stealth that way?
Is everyone actively stealthing here, or is this passive?
I want to actively try to be quiet.
Okay.
My
if you're
passive
making
is 7.
Yeah. So if you're making an active stealth check, you got to make it now, because this is going to determine it right here.
Yep, I'm gonna do it.
God damn it. I don't stealth!
I mean,
I should have stayed with the passive.
Stealth.
Make a d20 check for me here. Tegan, you can roll a d20 and add your modifiers to it.
I don't think it really matters. I think we're in
Dude,
combat.
Thanos, this is great. Here, take this rope. Follow me when I tug. Tug. All of a sudden, clank.
Clank, clank, clank.
Yeah,
Stop.
look, I forget people wear fucking big ass heavy armor and make fucking
Yeah.
noise.
like, you could try, but, like, I don't know.
All right,
It's,
Tegan, what'd
to
you get?
me, it would be worth trying, at least, even if it's not successful.
Now we're gonna have to murder everything.
I'm not used to this new elven armor, man.
What do you mean? That shit's not even heavy.
No, it's
That's
light
the
up.
whole point.
And Barrett's just jingling like a stack of coins everywhere he goes.
It's actually, apparently it's so light that you wear it in between layers of clothes. I was
Mhm.
reading some of the lore on it.
Tegan, what'd you get on your d20 roll? Did we lose him?
Oh, we might have lost him.
Oh, he's muted. So. Yeah. Okay. I think we lost them. They're trying to unmute. I see the red thing kind of trying to mute itself. So I think they're just lagging out. We'll get that under control. Go ahead and make a stealth check on it. Yeah.
There he is.
What'd you get on your roll?
13.
Okay, 13. So your stealth is 20. So I'm going to have you placed on position, pretty bitch behind Varys here. Have it paused. So you handed the rope to Lucar.
Yeah.
Okay, so Maldor, I'm gonna move you back slightly in terms of space. I'm gonna have it like this in terms of movement. Now,
Yeah.
what happens is a creature steps forward in the visible range of Lucar here on the west side. And as a creature, as you're moving, Lucar, you stop and staunch into a bit of mud, squishing into it. Your metal armor clanks. And then the rest of your party, who's following in tow, has this like domino effect as they're kind of pushing into themselves, kind of hitting in. Even Varys, you smash into Meldor, making noise. The only one who catches themselves is Tegan, and does not seem Tegan has been heard, nor is Thanos heard. But it does not matter. That creature raises its black shield and large mace, lets out a roar. As its eyes go wide, and it moves to run and attack. Need everyone to roll initiatives.
Jesus. There's my bad roll.
Goddamn invisible demon thinking we're all gonna
Tegan,
stealth
you
through
can-
the damn marshes.
Tegan, you can roll a d20 for me here, and then I'll enter modifier.
12.
All right, so 17 is the roll.
God damn,
Oh
how
my
does
God.
Thanos roll a 9?
I've never had over a 10
Because-
initiative on Maldor.
I rolled a 2 because I used all my good rolls, stealing 180k worth of shit.
All right, Varys, you are at the start of round 1.
I'd say that's a pretty good way to spend your time, though.
All right. Well, I don't really see anything. Did I hear it?
You heard it roar directly to your west, slightly north.
Okay. I'll take a step over to see if I can see it, which at that point I do. And then I'll probably I'll freak out a little bit because that thing's fucking big. And then I will haste our good old pal, my good old pal, Maldor. Nothing, no bad blood between us. And I will shift behind them. And then get scared again. And use the rest of my movement to back up. And that'll end my turn.
Ending turn, we come to this one, running at full bore. Looks towards you, Lucar. Raises the mace, swinging downwards. As it does, 24 smashes into your shoulder. It deals only 6 points of bludgeoning damage as it crests through. Then it comes in for a large swing on the opposite side. 11, too high up, and you duck underneath it. Begins to continue to roar outwards, screaming at the top of its lungs. Tegan, you're up next. So roll through with me just what you would like to do, and I'll help you out in terms of position. So you right now are 15 feet away from the creature just to your northwest. You're side by side to the right side of Varys and 10 feet to the south of Maldor.
Oh, we lost him.
He
Are we,
dropped.
we out completely? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead, since we're kind of running out of time in our session here, I'm going to go ahead and take over command of Tegan. We're going to do a bonus action Bardic Inspiration here to throw that off. Obviously, we get a D10 now, right? For that? Let's see. No, still
no,
a yeah, it's still a D8, almost a D10. So throw the D8 on. That is going to go ahead and give the effect of Bless with that Bardic Inspiration die, the bonus. There. And then they're going to look towards the creature, and they're going to throw off a Vicious Mockery as their action. The creature is going to take 3 points of psychic damage and fail to their 20 DC Wisdom saving throw. They then are going to move 5 feet, but not too far away, trying to stay relative because sight is difficult here. They don't know what's around them at current. Ending turn. Lucar, you're up next.
Okay, angry that I got smacked. I'm just gonna roar at it
Okay.
and attack.
All right, you let out a roar at the large hulking ogre-like figure, crested metal-plated armor, with a mace of metal black and the shield of black coming through a swing. All right, swinging the Bane of Barry Thune. 30. It is going to hit. And you'll deal. Not good on the reroll there, unfortunately. 13 points of slashing damage to strike through, slashing in the meaty lower left leg of the creature. Going across with a secondary attack here. 30 is going to be successful, striking through again. The same attack roll. Massive numbers here as the Whistle of the Bane of Barry Thune comes through. 19 total points of slashing damage, again, through the meaty flesh of the rottenness of the creature. Kind of falters a little bit, but still alive.
Okay, and I am going to Shield of Faith myself, and then in my turn.
Okay. Bring on a Shield of Faith. As it does, it comes through successfully. And then you can end your turn whenever you like. This creature is going to turn towards the commotion, hearing the yelling. As it does, it begins to slowly move, then sees, then continues to move upwards towards the closest target it sees, and that is Maldor. It is going to come in for 2 strikes with the Morning Star. 1 top down over 12. Able to sidestep, crushing into the actual marsh, the grass of the kind of muddy grass of this area here. Then comes swinging around with another strike. 20 is going to be a miss. As it does, it strikes into some barriers that surround your armor. Some of the enchantments you have from your rings, as it does, kind of bounces off of it for a brief moment. Magically defended and enchanted. Ending turn. Thanos, you're up next.
All right, I'm going to shoot this small one up here that hasn't had a chance to do anything yet.
Okay. You do have advantage against that. It does not detect you, so if you want to crit this, you can. But
Okay,
24
I'll
is
take
going
another.
to kill it. 24 kills it.
Okay.
You only need to do 1. You only need to do 1. Jesus Christ. 24 aims right to the head. It's a little skeleton. High five. Bam, 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 bam. How many
Hey,
times?
man.
Bam. Once goes right through the bone structure, kind of shatters and splinters.
All right, then I'm going to step 5 feet back, so that way I get better aim on these ones. I'm going to take my second attack at that one.
All right, 19 hits it. You deal 19 total points of piercing and necrotic damage as it lands into its lower left abdomen.
All right, I will take my bonus action hand crossbow shot at it.
Okay, going at it again. 21 hits. 29 points of piercing and necrotic damage.
Christ, it's still alive. I will take my dreaded ambusher shot at it.
Ain't a lot.
20! Yeah, 40 points. Getting the Dread Ambusher. We don't need it. It's going to take that damage. Pressed right through the head. No,
Just get something.
Jesus.
Oh,
It actually got up? Jesus Christ.
No, it didn't get up. It looks like the aura protect. It's getting the aura protection from Luke.
Traitor.
Oh, Jesus. Let me put it down to 0. And I'm just going to close it out. There, so it's dead.
it was like, not this shit again. He's gonna get up like 7 times.
I was like, I just hit that man for like 50 something damage. How? All right. And I will end my turn there.
All right, Maldor, you're up next.
All right, wow. This thing tried to hit, so I'm going to hit it back.
Natural 20. 63 points of
Jesus
slashing damage.
Christ.
Crash into the center point of its chest. The creature is still alive, pulling it out, breaking multiple rib cages and organ structures. Does not bleed. Continues to move towards you.
More.
23 hits. Those 28 points of damage. So you come back around towards it, slicing through. Dies outright here as you come back in the same spot that you attacked before, splintering into its chest and just breaking apart more structures. Eventually falls to the knees and topples down, dead. Or unmoving, I should say. That is the end of combat.
Fort Farron would have been a much different fight if we were there now.
I can't believe that. That's 63 points of damage. You were 2 off from max. That is wild.
If,
Did he crit?
if we don't see
Yeah.
First one, yeah.
if we don't see anything else, I'll drop concentration on the haste.
Baldor just gets stunned.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen in case like we don't see anything and then we start moving and then all of a sudden he just like locks up. So
Oh, there are more of them.
You're thunking of
Uh,
movements as creatures begin to approach towards you, called in by the other.
Tegan charges with the stat. No, I'm kidding.
Well, we're not going
Yes.
to be quiet at this point. We should just fight and move, probably.
Yeah. Thanos is gonna move up and get an angle on that one, and then ready a crossbow shot. So, whenever combat starts,
You're pulling towards, you can see the creature being drawn in. As it does, it pauses, it looks towards Maldor, raises up its mace, and gets ready to charge. At the same point, Thanos, you hear more creatures thumping themselves in the west. The rest of the party hears more creatures thumping themselves in the east, as there is a lot of undead here, and they're pulling themselves closer and closer and closer to all of you. I'd everyone to roll initiatives.
Hey, I did it. It's over 10.
hey,
I rolled a 5.
Okay, so we're going to get +5 to that, so a total of 10 here. All right, this is where we're going to come to round 1, and I'm also going to suspend the fog effect because it is going to cause quite a bit of lag here now that we're having more on the turn. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the fog off, but the vision limiter is still there. You're just not going to see the fog, and that should also help see things in terms of
mhm.
the fog should take a little bit to dissipate out naturally. Varys, you can now come to you at the start of round 1. Go ahead.
I'll sidestep so I can get a good angle on this one, and I'll firebolt him.
Right, sidestepping over for a firebolt, natural 20.
Jesus.
26 points of fire damage as you crash into the shoulder, splintering arch, a large chunk of it as it roars and continues to trudge forward.
Yeah, and I'll move back. In my turn.
Ending turn. We're now having other undead added into the order as these undead are going to be making their movements in the direction of the rest of the party. They're going to be slowly coming into visible range as I move them, but some of which will not be able to reach at that point with their movements. They're making dash actions as they charge forward towards the yelling and the large thunderous of movement of noise from the previous creature yelling outwards, as well as this creature trucking forward. Thanos, you're up next.
You said I heard more to my west, right?
You're more to your west, you hear more to your north now. There's all around you.
Okay. Then I guess I'll just kill this one that's closest to us that I can already see. Or not.
7. It's going to be a miss.
Alright, second attack.
Second attack comes through. 13 misses. Thanks to the heavily plated black armor. Sinew to its flesh.
Bonus
Glue to
action.
its flesh, I should say. 18 hits. 24 points of piercing and necrotic damage.
And the dreaded ambusher. Or not. Wow.
10 is going to be a miss. Firing him off, twinking. 1 connects in between, continues to move forward.
Alright, I'm gonna actually move kind of northwest-ish, trying to get... Yeah, I will backtrack 5 feet, and I will end my turn here.
Ending turn. There is a creature beginning to approach, a skeletanoid creature that begins to look towards you. The skeleton has a short sword in its hand. As it does, it makes a dash action to get right upon you here, and it looks towards you with a menacing face, and it gets ready to attack after its dash. Ending turn. Now come to another creature again, just moving things along. In terms of their movement. Lucar, you're up next. Shield of Fate. Your shield is still up. It has not been long enough for that to dissipate.
Excellent. Well, I only see the one right in front of Maldor, so here we go. I'm actually going to use the Corpse Layer Javelin this time. I can do that close range, right? Just stab it like a spear.
Yeah, I think you can. Throwables can be used as melees as well. All right, 29 hits. Go ahead and roll a d8 for me, please. All right, total of 15 points of damage dealt. You stab the creature's left leg. Across with a secondary attack here with the javelin, getting the extra attack, 32 hits. That is a total of 11. Roll a d8. That is a total of 16 points of damage. See, the creature's still alive, bleeding. Not bleeding profusely, but chunked through multiple pieces of its flesh, being rotten in its left leg. It's kind of now faltering, swaying from side to side.
Awesome. I'm in there.
All right. Ending turn. Maldor, you're up next.
All right, we're gonna dance around this gentleman and get into a flanking position.
All right. Now done alt for the flank. Coming through with the next attack here. That is going to be, change the music here. It's going to be 24, 35 points of damage. You're able to come through on its back end region. And as you do, you kill the creature, stabbing through its back and between towards its chest cavity. Topples forward. Kind of falters, hitting into the ground.
All right, well, I don't see anything else. So I'll just take the rest of my movement to come this way.
Okay.
Fight and move.
Charging forward. Comes into space, begins to look left and right, rolling a d4. Uses Maldor, comes close. Lucar here comes close to you here. That's a dash action to get to that point. Ending turn. Comes into visible range, same thing. Begins to choose targets of what it can see. It's going to go in for Maldor with its dash. Comes up right alongside you. Ending turn. Creature moves forward. This creature approaches you with a dash action. Varys. Ending turn. Another one with a dash begins to move forward. Locks eyes with you, Thanos, and continues to move over, filling space. All right, so the next turn is Tegan. So Tegan, you are on right-hand side of Varys. You have an enemy creature that is 20 feet away from you. Just on your right-hand side, you have a creature that is within 10 feet of you that is adjacent to Varys.
Is there any way to position a hypnotic pattern between those two creatures to exclude Varys and I?
There is not. The space between the two creatures is exactly 20 feet. So it'd be, you have to get a 30-foot box. I think it's a 20-foot for my pattern.
Can I just touch Varys on the shoulder and Dimension Doris, like, say 60?
You cut out there. What'd you say?
No, he's gone.
Oh no.
Oh, he
Yeah, we lost
left.
him.
It's just Dimension Door Varys into oblivion.
Well, it might be an okay time. This combat's going to be a little bit lengthy. There's quite a bit of undead here being drawn in, so we could pause here for the session That way, Brendan is able to play with us in the next session here. Start of their turn. If you all want.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Okay. On issue
Yeah.
there.
Oh, and just as he comes back.
Look,
I'm so
we're gonna
sorry.
end. No, you're fine. We're gonna end so that
Yeah, we're this combat's going to be pretty lengthy. There's quite a number of enemies here on the board, and given that you all want to fight this out, we're most likely going to be pushing past our session time. And because you're having technical difficulties, and we're already almost like 5 minutes to 3 on my time, so it seems pretty best just to pause and stop the session until next week.
I appreciate it. I'm sorry, guys.
there you go.
Fun.
No, we got we got to figure this out. We got to figure this out, Brendan. We got to get you
Well,
some Starlink.
during
I don't know what it is.
During the break, I went downstairs to the lobby and I was like, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know." I was like, "The internet in my room is fried. I don't know if it's the building." And she's like, "Yeah, it's the building." She's like, "I can't send emails, so I'm just gonna leave." Like, what? Like,
So how old is your building? Like terms of age?
less than 5 years.
How?
They just built
How is
this
this
thing
possible? Do you run you run Ethernet from the wall then?
for my Xbox when my laptop's wireless, but like my Ethernet cable wasn't even working. Like the full Wi-Fi is down, but no one's here this weekend. Because they don't have like a tech guy on staff. They have people that come in and service the internet. They don't have like an IT guy in the building.
So Brendan, this is what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say this on stream. This is what I would do. Okay, this is what I would do. I would try to find where the pipe is for your internet into the building, and I would find that, and I would start disconnecting every other connection but yours.
Or the other option is we just get you a dock for your laptop for like $40 that has an Ethernet port on it, and you just connect to Ethernet on your laptop when you play.
But that wouldn't have helped in this
That wouldn't have fixed
situation.
it.
But
this
that
time,
could
no,
help
the
in the
whole building
future.
is dead.
No.
I'll send a carrier
I don't know.
pigeon for each data, each little kilobyte. I'll send a little carrier pigeon with a USB stick.
I
Carry
just
it
don't
back and forth.
understand how your internet is this bad. Like just
Each
at
Foundry
all.
module I need to run, I just plug it in.
My guess is they are using switches and other things inside of the setup. So one Ethernet is probably being branched out to multiple, rather than running a single Ethernet to each space. They're probably running one line to a floor, and then they're probably branching from there. That's my guess how it's networked.
See,
So
the
if
thing is,
if that's the case, then it's probably somewhere major downstream in one switch that's just fucking up, or some
Yeah.
I'm gonna be out of
power
here
issue.
by July, so internet should not be an issue.
That would
from
be
that
so
out.
There you
nice
go.
for us.
Hey, let's go.
All right,
We'll
so we
have-
are in the middle. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
No, you go. You go.
No, I was just saying we're gonna be splitting internet between 4 people, so we're gonna get the best we possibly can.
Yeah.
Pay for the good shit to run
It's
in the
gonna
house.
be so nice for you to like actually do what you want
Anything.
to do.
Yeah.
Michael's like, I'm dragging you, and then all of a sudden you see the character token fly away.
I fly away to Mars.
Fly away, fly away.
And he drugged that character token like 6 minutes ago in his time.
I'm making an attack roll.
And then we all just sit there.
We
Dice is on the
really
board.
do appreciate that we really do appreciate you really sticking out with your setup and stuff. In terms of play and things, pretty impressed that you're able to play this the way you do. I would never be able to do it.
I would have lost my mind so many
Yeah, I would have
times.
lost my mind for sure. So very much applauding you for your patience, and we appreciate you playing with us. So
Yeah, absolutely.
experience-wise, we don't have any experience points to give out. We're in the middle of combat, so we're going to hold off on the experience points today. They would not aid you in getting from level 9 to 10, so we'll just compound that into the next session. If you're watching the stream, thanks so much. We really appreciate it for the ill-fated. hopefully you join us next week at 11 a.m. PDT for another session of combat looks like, as well as infiltration of a tower or just entrance into a tower. Get some answers, maybe. Figure it out. So, yeah, thank you so much, and we will see you later. Bye.
Later.